Time's up. I looked at the crystal in my hand as it crumbled into powder and let out a sigh. Yeah, that's the one. The fire-breathing dragon that just scared the whole town out of their minds. I summoned it with this little thing. Fire Dragon Soul. S-rank item. Has a chance to drop from a slain fire dragon. Briefly summons a spectral fire dragon that deals massive area fire damage. Requires 10 fire crystals to recharge after each use. Dropped it from killing that same dragon. Couldn't be happier. Cast it again, and the power didn't drop one bit. Anyone caught in it got vaporized on the spot. So this is the power of money. I pulled a few more fire crystals out of my bag. I'd stocked up on these before entering the dungeon, all for the sake of pulling this off one more time. As long as I had enough crystals, this dragon could keep coming back over and over. I felt the fire dragon soul recharging in my hand and glanced around. Under the dragon's shadow, the area had gone dead quiet. A wall of fire split the ground in two. Inside it were the survivors, all packed together. Outside, there was just me. Anyone too slow to run had already been sent packing by the dragon. Still, I felt like something was missing. I've already tested the fire dragon. Guess I should give my new skill a try too. How about Final Meteor? I shook my head. One dragon already had them rolling around on the ground. Dropping a Final Meteor on top of that might be a bit much. Feels wasteful. After a long moment of thought, I pulled another item out of my bag. Something I prepared ahead of time. Hat Trick. A-rank item. Cuts the mana cost of your next skill in half. Well, I'm already here. I downed the potion in one gulp. The mana cost of Final Meteor dropped from 500 to 200. Final Meteor, after a brief chant, summons 10 sun-sized spatial white holes around the caster. Rains meteors over a wide area, dealing apocalyptic damage. You stand in a sea of flame. Tonight, the stars themselves will burn bright by your will. The people inside had no idea what was coming for them. Meanwhile, inside the ring, that fire dragon was terrifying. There's no way it was only level 20. Relax, didn't you hear what that guy said? The safe zone shrinks. See how the fire outside hasn't gone out? That's the game telling us not to leave. Everyone was talking over each other. Nobody really knew what was going on. Hiding in a corner, Jian Hongtu started to worry. He'd been so focused on running for his life that he only now noticed the fire wasn't coming from one direction. It was surrounding them from all sides, closing them into a circle. A sea of flames outside, and inside, the survivors who'd just barely escaped the dragon's jaws. He spotted the man in white who'd been leading the pack. The guy wasn't looking too good either. He'd taken some hits during the escape. Jian Hongtu counted heads, including the man in white, about 20-something people. The dragon had wiped out a batch at the start. The wildfire during the escape had taken out another big group. What was left was everyone. The elimination rate was insane. One dragon showed up, and 80% of them were gone. Still, that made things simpler. He didn't believe anyone caught by that fire could still be alive. He'd seen high-level bosses before. A fire dragon should be a level 20 to 40 monster. But the energy coming off this one, it was at least level 30, maybe level 35 or higher. That kind of level gap meant instant death. He was no exception. And with that man in white here, the one with the crazy survival skills. This was the last safe zone. Jian Hongtu turned to Suing Fa. We're in the final safe zone. The dungeon's about to end. Whether we get the class advancement materials, it all comes down to right now. Suing Fa was still shaking. His voice came out weak. Brother Jian, do I really still have a chance? This isn't necessarily bad news. Jian Hongtu lowered his voice. Remember, we don't have to fight. We just have to survive. Die later than everyone else. That's enough. Take a breather. Someone's about to make a move any second now. The rules were simple. Last one standing, dungeon ends. If everyone left alive was in this one spot, there was still a path to victory. Kill everyone else. Trying that with a bigger crowd would be suicide. But now, with only about 20 people left, most of them wounded and out of mana and health, it was doable. If someone was going to move, it was now. Sure enough, the man in white gave a hand signal to a few people in the distance. They moved instantly. The closest one didn't even have time to react. He was gone. Everyone alive should be right here. I have to get those class advancement materials this time. The man in white stared down his nearest target, eyes cold. So you have to die. He wasn't alone. Several others struck at the same time. The victims had just dodged the dragon and hadn't even caught their breath. Now they were getting stabbed in the back. The numbers dropped fast. 16 left. Of those 16, 4 were with the man in white. The rest were scattered around in small groups. Jian Hongtu watched it all from his corner. He'd expected chaos and hidden in time. Nothing had touched him, but actually seeing it play out was still unnerving. This man in white had some skill. He'd pulled a team together in that little time, or maybe he'd run into other players from the same trade. Bounty hunters never counted on matching up in one go. To avoid wasted trips, they usually took several jobs at once. Employers did the same, hiring multiple hunters for the same target. Whoever didn't finish first didn't get paid. If two hunter groups ended up in the same dungeon, well, things got interesting. Not that Jian Hongtu had ever seen it happen himself. As for the rest of you, the man in white smiled with confidence. Would you rather end it yourselves, or shall I, send you off? Just as everyone stood in a tense standoff, something no one saw coming happened. The sky changed. While everyone was still deciding who died next, the sky outside changed. Crack. The sound was like glass shattering. The sky split open. Cracks spread across the heavens. Through them, something like eyes opened up, leaking a faint red light, staring straight down at them. What's going on? The sky's cracking apart. Is the dungeon environment collapsing? That can't be right. This is a level 20 dungeon. Even a level 40 wouldn't cause chaos like this. Everyone froze in place. The cracks kept multiplying, spreading until they covered the whole sky, like countless eyes watching every move they made. Before they could take it all in, a gust of hot wind slammed into them. That heat, way too familiar. The sky went dark. That fire dragon was back. Why is it back? Didn't it just leave? The safe zone shouldn't shrink this fast. It's only been a few minutes. How is it even here? I'm starting to think this thing isn't part of the dungeon at all. No one could say for sure. It just came and went as it pleased. That was enough to chill everyone to the bone. They'd rather kill each other than deal with that dragon. The shadow that first dragon left on their minds ran that deep. The sea of flames spread wider along with the dragon's arrival. The circle kept shrinking. There hadn't been much room to begin with. Now it was even more cramped. Jian Hongtu's face went dark as he pushed inward. He thought the same as everyone else. Better to fight these people than face that dragon. Fighting people, at least when you lost, you knew why. Facing a dragon, you'd die without even knowing how. But there was no escape. He had to squeeze in too. The pressure was too much. The infighting paused. The easy targets had already been eliminated. What was left were the tough ones. No one was confident they could take another down cleanly. The man in white gathered his people close and spoke in a low voice. You've all seen the situation. This shrinking circle mechanic, it's not what we're used to. Not gonna lie, this isn't my first dungeon. And I'm not here for class advancement materials. I'm just here to farm resources and trade for things. Last time I ran a dungeon like this, the safe zone shrank too, but nowhere near this fast. Then he floated a bold idea. You think, is there any chance what we're seeing here isn't a mechanic at all? What if it's just one person, an actual living person doing all this? Dead silence. A few seconds later, his teammates' faces filled with doubt and fear. If not a mechanic, then what? Don't just make stuff up because you think you know more than us. You saw that dragon out there. Ridiculously strong. What level 20 could survive in fire like that? Something that powerful, and you really think a person made it happen? The man in white hesitated too. Truth was, he didn't believe it either. If someone that strong existed, they'd have leveled up, changed classes, and made a name for themselves by now. No way they'd still be anonymous. A summoner mage, calling out dragons? He'd never heard of any summoner who could conjure a fire dragon. The more he thought about it, the more confused he got. To be honest, he was scared too. If he hadn't been, he wouldn't have been the first to bolt when the dragon showed up. But everything about this run just felt off. Not like a dungeon, more like a trap someone had set up. And every single one of them had walked right into it. He sighed internally and told himself he was overthinking it. Hopefully it was just paranoia. If someone like that really existed, that would be terrifying. Just then, a small figure appeared in the sea of flames. A bear. A bear standing in the middle of the fire, completely unharmed. You've got to be kidding. It walked out of the flames just like that. Do you think this bear is with the dragon? Wait, this seems familiar somehow. The fire was still raging. The bear ambled out of it, like it was nothing. Hearing all this, and looking at that bear, Jian Hongtu's face turned green. Great. Just great. Of all times to show up. And you people, of all times to remember? Sure enough, the next line pinned him to the wall. I remember now. Isn't this what those two shady guys were talking about? I heard one of them say something like, I lured a bear over here. The moment the words left his mouth, every eye in the place locked on Jian Hongtu and Suing Fa. Well. The man in white piled on with a cold smile. I don't know who's responsible for this, but this dragon, this bear, and that ring of fire out there. Did you invite them all here? Actually, the man in white didn't mind this kind of dirty trick. If he could pull it off, he would. Screwing over the other players, that was a skill. Understanding it didn't stop him from twisting the knife. When you can push someone into the pit, why not? The looks people gave Jian Hongtu and Suing Fa changed completely. The crowd started to split into two groups. Everyone else stayed on guard, and started drifting away from those two. Jian Hongtu couldn't hold it together anymore. The situation had just started looking up, and now it collapsed in seconds. His current position, a crowd of hostile people behind him, a bear closing in from the front, a flying dragon outside, and cracks splitting open in the sky above. The pressure was crushing. This is a class advancement dungeon. This felt more like the end of the world. His previous two dungeons combined weren't as brutal as this one. But complaining aside, he wasn't giving up. Things had fallen apart, but the word surrender wasn't in his vocabulary. Even knowing he'd lose, he was going to try. Guess I've got no choice but to fight. He pulled Suing Fa close and pressed something into his hand. S-rank item. Activates a protective barrier. If things get bad, get inside. Suing Fa took the scroll. But Brother Jian, what about you? I'm going to see what this bear can do. Jian Hongtu's eyes hardened. Don't worry. Even if I die, I'm not letting those people off easy either. He had no other options. This scroll was his last card. But he was a man of his word. When he made a promise, he kept it, even if it killed him. Once he had things arranged, he locked his eyes on the bear walking out of the flames, ready to make his last stand. And right at that moment, things changed again, right in front of everyone. That bear didn't spare him or Suing Fa a single glance. It walked right past them, picked up speed, and charged straight at someone else. What's going on? Are its eyes broken? You've got the wrong target. Your enemy's over here. Hey, it's this way. Wrong direction. The rest of them watched the bear charging toward them and instantly panicked. It's just a bear. What are you all scared of? Someone just had to be the tough guy. The moment he said that, Jian Hongtu, who was just catching his breath, silently gave him a thumbs up. Bro, well said. What a way with words. If you can talk that big, keep talking. Better yet, get a few people to charge with you. He'd had some doubts before, but after seeing this bear walk out of the flames untouched, every question in his head disappeared. How terrifying were this bear's stats? Anyone who touched it needed to be prepared to die. But this guy didn't take it seriously at all. Meanwhile, the bear was mine. It was Annie, the one I'd sent in. My situation was a little unusual. My body couldn't move, but I could split my focus and control my summons. The fire dragon, Annie, all of them. I had my hands on all of them. The moment I walked in, I saw the two people in the corner, but I didn't have any go for them. Without those two lovely friends of mine, this whole setup wouldn't have been possible. I had a whole different surprise waiting for them. I steered Annie's attention towards someone else. Honestly, I'd never had Annie fight a real player in hand-to-hand combat before. Only monsters. My fingers were itching for a fight. Come on, let me see what you've got. The confident guy leaped forward and rushed in. Boost. Tongbei fist. The moment he moved, everyone could tell. He was a close combat martial artist. The guy was brash, but he wasn't inexperienced. He downed a buff potion first, then coordinated with a ranged partner nearby before making his move. This dungeon had friendly fire on. Wide area skills couldn't be thrown around carelessly. One slip, and instead of taking out the monster, you'd wipe your teammate along with it. Their coordination wasn't bad. The ranged fighter laid down covering fire while the fist fighter followed up. Smoke rose. The moment the ranged attack stopped, the fist fighter had his charge fully loaded. Here, eat this. He drew back his fist and charged. That moment pulled every eye in the room. Everyone knew Annie was strong, but no one knew how strong. How would it hold up against a level 20 fist fighter? Who do you think wins? Do you even need to ask? The bear, obviously. Look at its size. Going toe-to-toe in melee? What an idiot. Just hit it with magic from range. This fist fighter won't last 3 moves. He's toast. Good if he loses. One less person to compete with. The rest were watching like it was a show. The clash everyone was expecting? It never happened. The fist fighter's punch landed in the smoke, like hitting cotton. Why is there no sound? Don't tell me the ranged fire actually killed the bear? No way. It walked out of an inferno untouched. It's not fragile. While they were still speculating, the smoke cleared. The fist fighter was on his knees. In front of him, the bear, a full head taller than him, was gripping his fist in one paw. A second later, the man dissolved into nothing. One move. You've got to be kidding. That fist fighter looked serious. He couldn't even take one hit. Paper tiger? All bark, no bite. Good riddance. If you're weak, go train more. Try again next life. They knew the fist fighter would lose. They didn't expect him to lose this badly, this fast. I didn't give the rest of them much time. Outside, the fire dragon kept shrinking the circle, and I used Annie to push them into the corner. Soon they had nowhere left to retreat. One more step, and they'd be diving into the flames. We can't keep going like this. I can't take it anymore. Another one stepped up. A mage, wearing robes designed to boost magic attack. Let me, Chinyu, give it a try. He sneered. That fist fighter was an idiot. A bear this bulky, you can tell just by looking, you don't fight it head on. Something all brawn and no brain, you just blast it from a distance. No brains at all. He ignored the ranged fighter who'd worked with the previous guy. What good was one ranged priest? The bear looked big and dumb. One heavy ranged salvo should turn it to dust. You started charging his spell where he stood. That was how mages fought. The longer you charged, the harder you hit. He was betting on that. Fire arrow. Catch. A red-hot longbow appeared in his hand out of thin air. He slowly drew back the empty string. Materialize. An invisible arrow took form, growing more solid as he drew it back. The power radiating from it kept climbing. The bear kept moving at the same steady pace. Fire. Whoosh. The fire arrow tore through the air, streaking straight at the bear. No smoke this time. Everyone saw it clearly. Hiss. The arrow hit its target, then bounced right off. The bear didn't even miss a step. How is that possible? Nothing? Not even a scratch. Even a post-class advancement guard tank would lose a layer of skin from that arrow. How is it fine? Chinyu was stunned. He couldn't figure out how his full-power shot didn't even draw blood. No one could answer him. Next second, one punch reduced him to dust. The rest of them were left staring. Range doesn't work either. How thick is that bear's hide? I knew it. Anything that walks out of a sea of fire isn't normal. Switch tactics. Switch tactics. Not far off, Jian Hongtu watched the scene unfold and felt an unexpected sense of satisfaction. Sure, his own survival wasn't guaranteed, but watching these two die one after the other right in front of him, that was genuinely satisfying. Still thinking about ranged attacks? The last person who tried that almost died in a dungeon. This bear was a nightmare for ranged fighters. Now you get it, right? Charging up all that power, and you couldn't even scratch its defense. As for that fist fighter, come on. This thing scares me, and I'm an S rank. What made you, a lowly A rank, think you had a shot? Nice one, Annie. I watched the battlefield with a grin. That body of hers is tougher than mine. I'd let her take that arrow on purpose. I could have dodged, but I wanted to see just how much punishment Annie could take. The result exceeded my expectations. Ever since I hit rank 8, all my summoned stats had gone up with me. In other words, at close range, Annie's physical durability was starting to edge past even my own body. Just physical durability, though. Her attack power still had room to grow. Still, with defense like that, a full power strike from a level 20 mage couldn't even scratch her. In any future danger, wouldn't she make the perfect natural meat shield? I quietly congratulated myself. Good thing I didn't blow that money on those absurdly overpriced class advancement materials. Even if I successfully changed class, how much of a stat boost would I really get? I knew my own limits. At the end of the day, I was a C-rank mage. No amount of class changing would compare to a qualitative leap in my skills. Plus, I had the system on my side. Of course I put skill upgrades first. Sadly, every single level up cost a fortune now. If I ever managed to save up a huge sum, I'd rather stockpile key items and materials. As for class advancement materials, once my abilities were high enough, I could just farm dungeons for them. Why waste money on that? Annie didn't slow down. Don't panic, someone yelled. Range doesn't work, so switch it up. It's not fast. All its damage comes from physical contact. If we can't beat it, at least we can dodge it. I get it. Footwork. Yeah, footwork. The moment those words came out, a few others nodded in agreement. No matter how strong a bear was, it still had to touch a person to deal damage. If they couldn't kill it in a short time, they could at least play it safe and circle around it. If they kept moving, it couldn't reach them. So a few of them changed their movement patterns. Instead of running in straight lines, they started circling. Not everyone bought into it. But with the ring of fire closing in around them, they had no choice. Circling was the only option left. They thought circling would keep them alive. Then, Annie moved. She flipped her paw. A wisp of fire flickered up from her palm, and she flicked it casually. Just a single tiny red spark. But the moment it hit the ground, boom. The guy who suggested circling? Direct hit. Gone on the spot. Wait, it has ranged attacks too? Tanky, hard-hitting, and it has burst damage? How are we supposed to play this? Are you even letting us live? They'd hoped to buy some time with footwork. What they hadn't expected was that this bear, on top of being ridiculously tough, also had ranged attacks. Every path forward was closed off. Not far away, Suing Fa broke out in a cold sweat. The bear had ranged attacks that powerful? When it was chasing us, it only used that once at the very start, and never again. I really got lucky. If it had thrown one of those at me back then, I'd have been done for. The more he thought about it, the more it terrified him. A bear this monstrous, and I once thought it was cute? I must have been out of my mind. That's not cute. That's terrifyingly cute. Meanwhile, the man in white was not happy. After the two who suggested circling died, The only ones left on the field were his 3 teammates, and Jian Hongtu with Suing Fa on the other side. An idea formed in his head. He quickly lowered his voice and gave his people an order. Kill those 2. The plan was simple and brutal. The bear was strong. But right now, except for his group, everyone else had been eliminated. That actually made things easier. This dungeon only required surviving until the end. It didn't require beating any specific boss. If they killed Jian Hongtu and Suing Fa, and then his allies stepped aside, the winner would be him. His people didn't hesitate to follow the order. They'd already agreed to it. As long as they helped him win, he'd take care of them after they got out. They didn't need to compete for first place. All they had to do was strike when needed. Way easier than fighting for the top spot themselves. The man in white had picked well. He avoided the strong ones and only recruited average players who wanted to cash in on the dungeon. Everyone got what they wanted. Jian Hongtu and Suing Fa were in danger again. But then, another change. Annie didn't stop after throwing that fire spark. She raised her massive paw and slammed it hard against the ground. Trails of flames spread out across the earth. Firestorm. Annie wasn't just ranged. She had area damage too. The man in white and his crew happened to be bunched up together. One move, and they were all cooked. Too fast for him to even react. Even if he had reacted, there was nothing he could do. Just like that, the man in white and all his allies were burned to nothing. On the battlefield, only Jian Hongtu and Suing Fa were left alive. Dead. They're all dead. Suing Fa's face went pale. They're all gone. Are we next? But after that final slam, Annie didn't come toward them. She just vanished on the spot. Just like the fire dragon. Came and went as she pleased. Is it over? Suing Fa looked lost. Is it just us now? Watching Annie disappear, Jian Hongtu didn't let his guard down. I'm afraid it's not going to be that simple. He looked up at the sky. While everyone had been focused on the bear, the cracks in the sky had grown wider. Now, they were fully open. And what came through them was suns. Massive red suns, one after another. What is that? Suing Fa was completely dumbfounded. He'd never seen anything like this. Massive red suns hung in the sky, radiating waves of crimson light. He counted them, one by one. Exactly 10. The moment the suns appeared, the air turned scorching. Moisture evaporated instantly. Suing Fa saw his heat status skyrocketing on his status panel. It maxed out in a blink. He started losing HP. Not just him. Jian Hongtu was too. This should mean it's almost over, right? Looking up at the 10 suns, Jian Hongtu couldn't think of anything else. As long as anyone stayed in this area, in less than 10 seconds their status would max out, and they'd start losing HP like crazy. Even if some players were still hidden, they wouldn't last long. Under conditions like these, fighting was pointless. If there was a priest here, maybe they could actually survive to the end. Lucky it's just the 2 of us left. Jian Hongtu looked around. The fire dragon overhead was gone. The ring of fire outside had shrunk to within 10 meters of them. The whole area had quieted down. He let out a breath. Just the 2 of them. That basically meant the mission was already complete. Listen. He pushed his last item into Suing Fa's hands. When you can't take it anymore, open the scroll I gave you. It clears negative status, and while you're inside, you're not affected by this environment. You're going to be first in this dungeon. He'd handed Suing Fa the lifesaver scroll to guarantee it. Sure, there was still a small chance someone else was hiding in a corner. But under 10 suns like these, nowhere was safe. As long as they stayed within this range, they were as good as dead. Just a matter of when. He drank a purification potion and cleared his burn status. Just a band-aid. Less than 10 seconds later, it maxed out again. Jian Hongtu gave up. He handed his last potion to Suing Fa too, then waited quietly, keeping an eye on the surroundings. Most of his gear had been burned through in this dungeon. Thankfully, nothing else went wrong before his HP hit 0. No bear. No dragon. He finally relaxed. Don't be nervous, Suing Fa. Open the scroll, hide inside, and you're the winner. This dungeon was different from any of the others I've done. But in the end, we made it. Once I'm gone, you're first. Suing Fa nodded obediently and opened the scroll. His burn status instantly cleared and stopped climbing. Seeing that, Jian Hongtu closed his eyes with a small, relieved smile. HP hit 0. Jian Hongtu was gone. But Suing Fa's face slowly turned uneasy. The dungeon wasn't over. He hid inside the scroll obediently. The scroll really was a great item, worthy of being a one-time use S rank. It lasted a long time, and while inside, his life was safe, and the burn status couldn't touch him. But once the time ran out, he'd end up just like Jian Hongtu. The closer he got to what he was about to obtain, the more his desire burned. But so did his questions. Why wasn't the dungeon over? Wasn't it supposed to end when only one person was left? Weren't all these dangerous things supposed to disappear? Wasn't there supposed to be time for me to clean up the battlefield? Why was this completely different from what he'd been told? Was it possible that he wasn't the only one left in the dungeon? Was there someone else somewhere? Unfortunately, Jian Hongtu was gone. No matter how many questions he had, no one could answer them. Only silence, and those 10 massive red suns above. Suing Fa didn't know what to do, but he didn't dare leave either. All he could do was pray. Somewhere out there, someone was hiding with a top-tier survival item, competing with him for the last stretch of endurance. If he could just outlast them, he'd win. With no other options, that was all he could tell himself. Then, without meaning to, he glanced up at those terrifying red suns. Something changed. Below each sun, red dots started to appear. They stretched out behind them, forming long red streaks. Is that a meteor shower? Suing Fa stared, stunned. Meteors were raining down from the sky. Countless meteors appeared one after another, dragging long tails behind them. They moved insanely fast, crossing half the sky in seconds. Boom, boom, boom. Meteors slammed into the ground, blowing out crater after crater. Why isn't this ending? What the hell are these meteors? Suing Fa's whole world collapsed. The meteors didn't come one at a time. They kept coming, endlessly. No sign of stopping. The 10 suns were like windows to another world, spitting meteors out nonstop. Amid the bombardment, he took hits too, trembling inside the scroll. Thankfully, no direct impacts. Just some aftershocks. But even so, 2 cracks had appeared on the scroll. Before the meteors, hiding inside had been completely safe. The heat couldn't touch him. The scroll would only slowly wear out over time. Now, though, the scroll was cracking. Like something was trying to tear it open from the outside. Even with this, why am I still not first? Who could possibly survive an attack like this? Crack. He had no time to keep wondering. The meteors didn't stop. In just the moment he'd been confused, 2 more had landed near him. Boom. A loud crash. The sound of the scroll breaking. Even this S-rank item couldn't hold on any longer. Hiss. The scroll vanished completely. The instant it failed, Suing Fa's burn status maxed out. Just like that. Before, it had taken some time to build up. Now, with the surrounding air burning insanely hot, in less than a second, it maxed. He tried to drink a status-clearing potion. Useless. The burn was rising too fast to save him. His HP plummeted. His mental defenses collapsed with it. He didn't need the next wave of meteors. He had less than 3 seconds left in this dungeon. He didn't even know, right up to his death, who he'd lost to. Was the other person really a priest? One with insane healing? Carrying some ridiculously strong survival item? Whatever. Didn't matter which. He accepted his loss. Who's this good at hiding? And in the last moment before he disappeared, he thought he saw the fire dragon again. On the dragon's back, there seemed to be a bear. And another figure. A stranger. A person? On the back of the fire dragon? How could there be a person up there? Inside the dungeon, I sat on the fire dragon's back and slowly descended, landing in the middle of the sea of flames. Meteors slammed into the ground all around me, thundering in every direction. Not a single one touched me. The 10 suns hanging overhead, and the meteors raining down. All of them were mine. Rank 8. Final meteor. At the last moment, I hadn't let Annie take those 2 out. I wanted them to witness the full glory of the meteor shower. So this is a rank 8 skill. I couldn't help but marvel at it. The power of rank 8. Enough to rewrite the world. The dungeon was covered in massive craters. My real body was free now, but Final Meteor was still going. That one skill had drained every last drop of my mana. But the power was truly terrifying. Before the meteors even landed, the 10 suns alone had eliminated 1 player just from radiating heat. It was my first time casting it, so I was inexperienced. I'd actually worried those 2 might not survive long enough for me to finish the spell. Thankfully, they had a nice little something. That scroll had to be at least a high tier. Did he see me? Right before that man vanished, I noticed his eyes seemed to sweep toward my direction. Question was, did he actually spot me? And if he did, what was he thinking? Ding. Battlefield cleanup time, 10 minutes. Let me clean up and see what's here. The fire dragon and Annie stood on either side of me like 2 obedient guards. These people were dead, but the items they'd picked up in the dungeon were still lying around. The last one standing got all their loot. I had 10 minutes. Once time ran out, I'd be forcibly teleported out. Of course, I could leave earlier too. So much stuff, but my bag's only so big. What should I grab? Outside the dungeon, in the plaza, the place was packed. People about to enter dungeons, people who'd just come out. The person next to you might not be from the same dungeon as you, and someone from your dungeon might not be anywhere near you. Competitors were matched randomly, with nothing to do with physical distance. Jian Hongtu was one of the ones who'd just come out. He scanned the area. No one could survive under those meteors. and he'd given the S-rank scroll to Su Yingfa. It should be a done deal. Thinking about Su Yingfa probably being alone in the dungeon right now, sweeping up all the rewards, Jian Hongtu felt himself relax. The job was finally done. Bumpy along the way, but the outcome was good. Being a hired dungeon runner had its risks. There was only one scroll like that. He wouldn't have such a good tool next time. Good enough. Once this round wrapped up, he could go attend the class advancement ceremony. Thinking about the payment, he smiled with satisfaction. Giving up that one precious S-rank item still stung. One-time use, gone once used. But as long as the job succeeded, it was all worth it. Just as he was thinking about it, he suddenly heard a commotion from the other side of the plaza. What did you say? You met a bear and a dragon in your dungeon. Isn't that the safe zone shrinking mechanic? What? You didn't get that? No. Isn't the safe zone shrinking supposed to be lava? What does a dragon have to do with it? What lava? Wasn't it a giant flying dragon with massive area damage? No. It's lava. Yeah, mine was lava too. That's right. Just regular lava. Stay in it too long and your status maxes out. Then you start losing HP. But it builds up slowly, and HP drops slowly too. Same here. There was a fire mage in my dungeon. Really high fire resistance. He drank a health potion and just walked through the lava. Just couldn't stay too long, or he'd lose HP too fast. Same for us. What's going on? Why is what you saw different from ours? Jian Hongtu listened for a while and figured it out. That first guy who mentioned the bear and the dragon, he had a vague memory of him. He was the fist fighter Annie had one shot with her paw. Based on what they were saying, none of the other class advancement dungeons had a fire dragon or a bear with those absurd stats. It sounded like only their dungeon had these things. And other people's shrinking safe zone mechanic was lava. Hearing lava, Jian Hongtu suddenly remembered something he'd been ignoring. He'd seen lava in the dungeon. Right. He'd known the activity range would shrink. When he first entered, to figure out which direction the safe zone would spawn, he'd specifically caught a young monster and scouted around. That lava palace. Everything after that had happened too fast, and he'd forgotten about it. Now that he thought back, something clicked. Their dungeon had a lava palace too. That was real. So, according to the normal script, their dungeon's shrinking mechanic should have been the same as everyone else's. Lava spreading across the map. Not a fire dragon chasing them everywhere. Lava was scary, but nothing close to one-shotting people. With enough resistance, or a stack of health potions, you could even take some risks in it. But that was nothing compared to the fire dragon they'd faced. Worlds apart. Are you kidding? Who'd dare touch that fire? Everyone who did was eliminated on the spot. Just look at the end. The man in white and his crew chose to kill each other rather than run into the fire. That's how scary those flames were. The more Jian Hongtu sorted it out, the more confused he got. What was going on? Why did his dungeon have an extra fire dragon and bear? Then a bold idea popped into his head. The dragon and the bear. They weren't part of the dungeon at all. They were summoned by another player. The moment the thought landed, it scared him. How? Who could summon creatures that monstrous? Then he remembered another detail. When the bear was chasing them, it barely used any ranged attacks. But it definitely could. It had proved that when it wiped out the man in white and his group with a pillar of fire. Not just ranged. Powerful ranged. But when it was chasing people, it just didn't. Almost like it was holding back on purpose. Herding them all into one place. And that bear hadn't attacked him or Su Yingfa. It left them for last. That felt like a back door left open for someone it recognized. Jian Hongtu broke into a cold sweat. No way. No way. On the other side of the plaza, the discussion kept going, and the crowd kept growing. The newcomers were mostly from the same dungeon. That's right. Our dungeon really did have a dragon. I was resting in a room when it just showed up. You didn't see it. One touch of that fire, and I was gone instantly. Getting burned to death was the good ending. I got killed by a bear. To this day, I still can't figure out how my arrow didn't even break its defense. They really did all see it. Doesn't seem like they're making it up. What's going on? Our dungeon didn't have any of this. Could it be? You were singled out? Maybe. What awful luck. Who knows when the next mage class advancement material will come around? You only get one shot each time. This chance is gone. Probably next month. Next month? Beijing University's evaluation will be over by then. Man, why is my luck this bad? Why does this kind of thing have to happen to me? They argued for a while, but got nowhere. In the end, they just consoled themselves. Bad luck. They'd hit some special terrain variation. Meanwhile, Jian Hongtu was rattled by his own reasoning. His rational side told him the theory might actually be true. His emotional side told him to stop overthinking. It had to be wrong. For someone to create all this, how insanely strong would their master be? He shook his head and refused to keep thinking about it. No, he couldn't scare himself. Su Yingfa was still inside. Once he came out, and Jian Hongtu asked him, everything would be clear. Maybe his situation really was just unusual. As if to test his theory, he spotted a familiar face in the crowd. Suingfa. He was out. Whether someone was eliminated or came out as first place, they'd end up in the same general area. So just seeing him didn't tell you whether he'd won. But Jian Hongtu's heart still sank. Suingfa's expression was off. Knowing this kid, if he'd actually come in first, he'd be grinning ear to ear. This was definitely not that look. A bad feeling washed over him. I'm not first. The first words out of Suingfa's mouth left Jian Hongtu speechless. His heart, which had been hanging so high, dropped and shattered. His whole worldview was flipped upside down. Suingfa said he wasn't first. That meant the bounty job had failed. In a wager like this, losing meant giving up a precious S-rank item and not getting paid. But that alone wasn't enough to break him. Being a bounty hunter was inherently high risk. Nobody could guarantee a 100% success rate. It wasn't that he couldn't accept losing. He just couldn't accept not knowing how he'd lost, or to whom. Because this time, he lost without ever even seeing his opponent's face. Jian Hongtu asked, did you see who won? Suingfa hesitated. You left early, so you don't know what happened after. Let me walk you through it. He gave a quick rundown of everything after Jian Hongtu died. The meteors, and the scroll finally breaking. By the end, Jian Hongtu was numb. He'd thought the fire dragon and the bear were already absurd. Now, add a meteor shower on top of that. Was he just too weak to even be qualified to witness the final scene? Suingfa lowered his voice, careful with his words. Before I got kicked out, I kept thinking it was some priest or some strong player hiding in a corner. But right when I was disappearing in the haze, I thought I saw someone standing on the fire dragon's back. I don't know if I was seeing things. It was chaotic. But Brother Jian, is it possible? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Jian Hongtu cut him off. He didn't need to hear the rest. He knew what Suingfa was about to say, because he'd thought the same thing. But it couldn't be. He didn't want to accept it. How could he accept it? Admit that the bear that had chased him all over was someone's summon? Admit that the dragon that had backed them into a corner was someone's pet? If it came to that, Jian Hongtu would rather believe, like Suingfa initially did, that some hidden player out there had a survival item beyond S-rank that let them last a little longer through the meteor shower. On the other side of the plaza, after all that work, I finally came out of the dungeon. But my face wasn't looking too great. I'd just done a sweep in there. A few interesting items, sure. But the haul was way less than I'd expected. I figured out why pretty quickly. It ended too fast. In theory, everything I could pick up was gear other players had stockpiled during the dungeon. But the fire dragon showed up so early this time that most of them never had a chance to loot anything. So there wasn't much left behind. Never thought that finishing too fast could actually be a bad thing. I felt a bit of regret. By the time I was the only one left, there wasn't enough time to explore properly. If I'd known, I would have let it drag out longer, let them do the grinding for me. Oh well, next time. At least I got the most important thing, the class advancement material. I could change class this afternoon, which meant I was finally about to break past the level 20 barrier and step into the next stage. Just as I was thinking it, I was teleported out. I hadn't even caught my breath before I ran into Chen Xianan. This guy seemed to have been waiting nearby. Judging by his expression right now, he was way more full of himself than before. Hey, Chen Fan. Not looking too good there. Rough time in the dungeon. He sneered. Huh. I said it. You've only made it this far because of other people. Go into a dungeon alone, and your true colors come out. Rough is good. Don't forget our deal. Monday, in the arena, I'm going to personally school you. Trust me, after that match, you'll thank me. Then he turned and walked off without looking back. He'd been waiting there just to throw that line. I thought about it for a moment and picked up on something. The guy had way more confidence than before he entered the dungeon. Looked like Chun Xianan had come in first in his. I glanced at the storage in my inventory. It held a class advancement material too. I smiled faintly to myself. They say the higher up you go, the wider the talent gap gets. So, post-class advancement you, with your S-rank talent, can you take my final meteor? Back at the dorm, I sorted through what I'd grabbed from the dungeon. The most important thing, of course, was the class advancement material. Besides that, a few other items. A-rank item, purification potion. Clears abnormal status conditions from the body when consumed. A-rank item, recall scroll. Usable in specific dungeons. After a 6-second chant, teleports the user out of the dungeon. Rewards already obtained can be brought out. S-rank item, grand restoration pill. When used, fully restores HP and mana and clears all negative status effects. If HP and mana are already full and no negative status is present, grants a 3-second buff of 100% increased damage across all attributes. I scanned through them. A pile of items, But the most useful was this grand restoration pill. Low HP to full in an instant, and a damage boost under specific conditions. 1 S rank. Not bad. Shame it ended too fast. If it had dragged on, maybe I could have scooped up a few more S rank items. I stashed the ones I didn't need in my fixed storage. The 3 survival items stayed in my mobile bag, my new safety cards. Grand Restoration Pill plus Recall Scroll. Finally have 2 proper survival items. That fire dragon sure is cool. Just a little expensive. I glanced at my empty wallet, then at the few remaining fire crystals in storage. The broke feeling was back. In that dungeon, I'd summoned the fire dragon several times. Every time it appeared, fire crystals were burning behind the scenes. That wasn't fire, it was breathing. That was my wallet. 10 million just wasn't enough. When would I finally have 100 million? I shook my head and pushed the unrealistic thought aside. Focus on something practical, like class advancement. Without changing class, my level was locked at 20. I'd blown past that stage a long time ago. My overflow experience was who knows how much. After sitting on it this long, it was time. I headed to the class advancement office, turned in the materials, went into the mage-only advancement room. Before long, the materials were refined into a potion and delivered. I sat down cross-legged, drank it in one go, and quietly let it work. Time slipped by. As the last drop of the potion was absorbed, the barrier that had been blocking me shattered. Class advancement complete. From this moment on, I was a level 21 fire mage. Along with the change, my base stats went up a bit. But when I glanced at those small increases and compared them to what a single skill point could do, I went silent. At least the advancement also gave me 10 free attribute points to allocate. Those would decide my growth direction. I didn't hesitate. All 10 points into magic power, meaning maximum mana. Attack modifiers barely affected me. Mana was what I lacked the most. Once I added them, my max mana rose all the way to 400. In other words, with just another 100 points of max mana, I could cast Final Meteor without even needing a potion. If I did use a potion, I could cast it twice in a row. That was everything that changed after class advancement. No special talent skills. A bit of a shame, but I could only tell myself to accept it. I was a C-rank talent after all. Expecting one class advancement to trigger a fundamental leap was unrealistic. C-rank mages didn't get talent skills, so their advancement didn't come with a talent leap either. Just 10 free attribute points. I comforted myself and moved on. Whatever. I wasn't the type to rely on talent anyway. What did I rely on? The system? No, wait. Persistence and hard work. Anyone who disagreed could take it up with Final Meteor. I closed the panel, and my phone buzzed with a message. From Manhwaedit. Morning. Didn't want to bother you yesterday. You should be out of the dungeon by now. How'd it go? Smoothly. I checked the time and glanced out the window. Only then did I realize a whole day had gone by. I'd actually spent the entire night in there. It was Sunday morning already. Only one day until Monday's arranged fight. Class advancement had gone well, and my mood was good. I replied, fine. About what I expected. And Hondo, I knew this wouldn't stump you. I'm heading into the class advancement dungeon soon. Hope I don't drag the team down. As your captain, I sent some encouragement, and we chatted a bit longer. Through the conversation, I learned that team information didn't have to be updated immediately, meaning I didn't need to rush to the registration office to update my level. Before long, the class advancement dungeon opened again. I put down my phone and noticed the notifications piling up. Someone had been tagging me in the group chat over and over. More than 10 times, with the pop-ups covering the whole screen. I opened it up. Same old group. Have you guys heard? Chun Fan from our class arranged a duel with Chun Xianan from class 3. That's wild info. A C-rank mage taking on an S-rank mage? Are you kidding? Where do you even hear this, bro? Doubtful. Doubtful. Clearly you didn't check yesterday's headlines. This isn't just from me. Plenty of people saw it in person. What happened? Yesterday, in the teleport plaza, tons of people heard it. Chun Fan and Chun Xianan agreed to duel this Monday. Now that you mention it, it doesn't sound fake. You mean the Chun Fan we know? Yeah, that one. From our class. That many people saw it. Can't be wrong. And Lu Shishir can confirm it too. Yeah, I can confirm. He's the one who agreed to duel Chun Xianan. Right in the middle of the argument, Lu Shishir popped in and sealed it. The group chat exploded. It's actually true? A C rank versus an S rank? Where'd he get the guts? Maybe you haven't heard the latest. Chun Fan latched onto some big shots. Someone saw him at the team registration office. He joined a new team, and it's an S-rank team. I heard about that a while back and thought it was a rumor. So it's real. Riding that team's coattails, Chun Fan already made it to level 20. Damn. Jealous. Why does the good stuff never come my way? Shouldn't Chun Fan explain this himself? Yeah, he's in the group. Just tag him and ask. I'm curious too. What was he even thinking? Someone started it, and the whole group piled on with tags, which is how I ended up with my phone flooded. I watched the conversation scroll by. My exchange with Chun Xianin yesterday had happened in a public place. Plenty of people around had heard it, and now it was already this widespread. I refused to believe Lu Shishir hadn't had a hand in it. The chat kept going. Don't bother tagging him. He agreed to fight Chun Xianan in the no-restriction arena. He's probably on his knees right now begging his team's big shots for survival items so he doesn't lose too badly. Actually, could totally be true. Just as things were heating up, a very different message dropped into the chat. Chen Fan is from our class. If he agreed to a duel with someone from another class, he's representing our class. If you don't want to stand with him, fine. But helping outsiders stomp on your own classmate? Lu Shishir's #1 fan, won't overthink. You three. Right now? My office. Move. This was the class group chat. Teachers were in it. The one who spoke up was Wang Jing. The instigators got caught red-handed. The group went silent, like a bucket of cold water had been dumped on it. I didn't really interact with most of my classmates, so no one in the group spoke up for me. The only one who would was Wang Jing. Just as I was thinking about it, I got a few private messages. Wang Jing, I'll take care of those troublemakers. I trust you have your own plans. Do what you think is right. Come to me if you need anything. Lu Jia. Chen Xianan actually dared to challenge you? Bro, I'm with you on this one. I'll be there tomorrow cheering. Give him hell. I've been sick of him for a while. Between the lines, Lu Jia had complete faith in me. He didn't even consider that I might lose. The way he saw it, Chun Xianan challenging me was a death wish. Low profile didn't mean weak. Someone who cleared a level 20 dungeon in 10 minutes. And you, an S rank of the same class. Think you can take him? Been throwing your weight around too long, huh? Well, now you've hit a wall. And Hongdo. Oh, I forgot to mention. Heard you're dueling Chun Xianan. You're a team member now. You know what happened before. If it's okay, I'd like to ask you to give him a public thrashing. You know what he did to us. I owe you for the world dungeon. Otherwise, he would have screwed us over again. If you say yes, I'll owe you one. To my surprise, Hu Xian sent a message too. A voice message, no less. Hey, Chen Fan. I heard you're going to duel Chen Xianan. I don't mean anything by it. Just wondering if you're free Monday night. I wanted to invite you to dinner. The voice message was mumbled, like it took every bit of courage she had to send. Sure. Hu Xian. That's great. Go get him, Chen Fan. Give Chen Xianan a beating. Get some payback for an Hongdo for me. Looking at all the mud being slung in the group, and then at these private messages, I suddenly realized I wasn't alone. Real friends showed up quietly in moments like these. I replied to each of them, telling them not to worry. I agreed to an Hongdo's request. As for the group, just a bunch of people kept in the dark, unable to tell fact from fiction. Why argue with fools? I smiled. Let it go. I put down the phone, and the exhaustion from not sleeping all night finally caught up with me. Only I was in the room, but I didn't feel alone. Nothing happened the rest of the day. Next morning, outside the arena, the place was packed. A passerby looked confused. What's going on today? Why are there so many people? Someone eating bread on his way and turned around. You really don't know? Chun Xianan. Ring a bell? Guess not. You wouldn't know an S-rank mage. He's fighting a C-rank mage in the arena. What's so special about that? A C-rank is just going to get stomped. One-sided fights, nothing to see. You don't get it. The guy stopped and took another bite, explaining patiently. Listen, last night, and Hongdo also sent a challenge to Chen Xianan. And they're going into the no-restriction arena. And Hongdo? I know that gorgeous girl. Isn't she an S-rank warrior? Why is she fighting Chen Xianan too? I only just heard about it yesterday. Chen Xianan used to be on an Hongdo's team, then left. And Hongdo recruited someone new. Guess who? That C-rank mage. The passerby lit up. Whoa, this is that juicy. Gotta go in and see. S-rank fights are rare enough. Throw in drama like this, and of course everyone's coming. Got it. Let's find a good spot. The two of them agreed and headed in together. Not long after they left, I stepped out of a nearby alley. I'd been close by. I'd heard every word. No wonder. I'd been wondering why there were so many people. Even for a C-rank versus S-rank spectacle, this crowd was too big. A moment of thought, and I got what an Hongdo was doing. Challenging Chen Xianan was her standing up as a captain. He'd betrayed the team, and she owed her teammates an explanation. Last night's request to me was her personal move. She wasn't confident she could beat Chen Xianan. 3 people, 1 small connection, and with a little embellishment and a few whispers, this whole crowd came out. That's what happens with a love triangle involving 2 S ranks and a C rank. My calm heart started to burn. I recognized this playbook. Lu Shishir. You again. Inside the arena. On the way to the prep area, we ran into each other again. Chen Fan. So you actually showed up. Chen Xuannan's eyes carried a smile. Good. I knew you wouldn't chicken out. He knew exactly what was going on outside. Lu Shishir's doing, with his blessing. He'd drawn the circle. All he needed was for me to jump in. He'd actually been worried I'd back out at the last minute. His target this time wasn't just me. He wanted to drag Hondo down with me. He hadn't forgotten the grudge from the world dungeon. Before, he didn't have a reason or the confidence. Now was different. Last Saturday, he'd gotten lucky in his class advancement dungeon. No other S ranks in his match, and he came in first. He was now a level 21 fire mage. Successful advancement, talent leap, giving him confidence he'd never had before. So other than worrying I wouldn't show, he wasn't nervous about this fight at all. And Hongdo, though, Chen Xianan wasn't stupid. If Hongdo sent a challenge, she'd probably also succeeded in her class advancement. He knew her well, but she didn't necessarily know his cards. After class advancement, anything could change. What kind of talent would hers become? He mulled it over as he walked to the prep area, not sparing me another glance. While we were talking, the arena opened. The stands filled with spectators. The moment Chen Xianan and I appeared in the prep area, the crowd erupted. Chen Xianan, wreck Chen Fan. Don't let him breathe. Teach him what real power looks like. More than half of them were there for the show and didn't actually know what was going on. Lu Shishir had spread the story with key details missing. Chen Xianan had challenged me, but by the time it got around, it had turned into me provoking Chen Xianan, and it kept getting wilder. I'd stolen Chen Xuannan's teammates. I'd even stolen Chen Xuannan's woman. Even more ridiculous versions were floating around. First time here. In the prep area, Chen Xuannan's voice came through the speaker. First time this many people came to watch you fight? Listen to them. Is any of them cheering for you? See that? I haven't even said anything, and they're all on my side. What about you? Where are your supporters? Even if you wanted to defend yourself, would anyone hear you? Remember, in this world, power is what matters. The stronger you are, the more people believe what you say. That smile on his face said he had this in the bag. Everything he said carried a "we were never meant to be in the same world" undertone. I clenched my fist. I'd thought this was just a match between the two of us. I hadn't expected Chen Xianan and Lu Shishir to be pulling this many strings behind the scenes. Looking back, the incident at the registration office must have shaken Lu Shishir more than I thought. Any chance she got, she went full mad dog on me. Following that thought, I casually glanced around and spotted Lu Shishir. She was in the crowd holding up a huge banner. A few big characters on it. Down with the kept man. Chen Fan, you shameless jerk. You're actually making two S ranks fight each other. A leech like you doesn't deserve teammates. Their whole team fell apart because of you. You're a walking curse. Whipped up by her, a group of clueless girls joined in. From the fire in their voices, they hated me right down to their bones. But I didn't know any of these people. Lu Shishir had led them by the nose and convinced them I was the one who ripped teams apart. Was that the truth? No. Even before I met in Hongdo, Chen Xianan had already been making moves behind the scenes and running off. It had nothing to do with me. But once the rumors spread, all those labels got slapped on me. I was one person. Weak voice, no reach. Even if I wanted to argue back, my words would get swept away. In front of a crowd like that, my voice was pathetic. I sighed internally. I had to admit, Lu Shishir's move was sharp and vicious. At this moment, the whole stadium was Chen Xuannan's cheering section, and I was the one who deserved to get torn apart. And I was stuck in the prep area. There was nothing I could do about anything outside. Just as I was feeling low, some out-of-place voices started to break through in the stands. You believe whatever they tell you. So if I told you I'm the first emperor of China and asked for $50 to prove my power, you'd Venmo me too? What a bunch of idiots. No wonder you're only level teens. Up in the stands, a burly guy was standing there, holding onto a frail-looking young woman. She looked like his sister. She was pale, but her delicate face was full of anger. I recognized him. That was Zhao Cheng, the guy who'd asked me to farm materials. Lu Jia had mentioned that Zhao Cheng had been grinding a rare material like crazy to save his sister. The girl next to him had to be her. A bunch of spoiled kids. Probably never been outside the city walls in your lives. Never seen how brutal the world out there is. You'd better stay inside the walls forever. Trust me, idiots like you wouldn't last a day out there. Two people were speaking, with a few more behind them. From their gear and age, they looked like a group of bounty hunters. The moment they spoke up, the chatter died down by half. These were people who spent all their time in the outer city, and they carried an invisible pressure that made others nervous. I looked over. Luo Juanda, Ling Yuan, the two I'd saved on that last job. I hadn't said a word to them about today, but they'd shown up. How interesting. In one corner of the stands, an elegant young man drawled lazily. Chen Xianan, That coward wouldn't even accept my duel invitation. But he'd fight my brother Chen Fan. TSK TSK. Chen Xianan. I'm starting to admire your guts. He was alone, but the area around his seat was empty. No one dared to sit close to him. That was Lu Jie. It was my first time seeing him too. The aura he carried wasn't something an ordinary person had. Lu Jie's background definitely wasn't simple. Made sense. He was someone who knew Yukiki and could hook me up with connections. Of course he wasn't ordinary. Once they showed up, more and more people came in. And Hongo arrived. Following behind her were my current teammates. Chen Fan, go get him. I'm here to watch you and the captain thrash Chen Xianan together today. I already bought popcorn. Behind the group, I spotted 2 more figures who'd come on their own. Hu Xian, Wang Jing. Everyone had come. I clenched my fist and walked out of the prep area. The heavy mood from moments ago was completely gone. Former me, are you seeing this? Leaving that old team meant the whole world stepped up to welcome you. Seeing the scene outside the stands, Chen Xianan froze. Chen Fan had this many supporters? That couldn't be right. According to Lu Shishir, wasn't he an orphan? Where were all these people coming from? Chen Xianan genuinely couldn't understand this scene. If it had just been ordinary people, fine. But there were a few serious players mixed in. Like Lu Jie. That was someone even he wouldn't dare provoke. Chen Fan was just a C-rank mage. Lu Jie was probably an SS-rank talent. The gap between them wasn't small. How were they even connected? From the way Lu Jie talked, calling him brother so casually, they clearly weren't strangers. How had Chen Fan gotten to know him and gotten this close? And Lu Jie's tone made it clear he had complete confidence in Chen Fan. Wait, he was that certain Chen Fan could beat me? Was he bluffing? Or was there something I'd missed? He couldn't figure it out. Full of doubt, he glanced elsewhere. The bounty hunters. They stood together quietly, doing nothing. Just standing there. The pressure they gave off was overwhelming. Their presence alone had cooled off the hyped-up crowd from before. Then his gaze shifted to Hongdo and Hu Xian. Chen Fan had a serious way with women. Meanwhile, aside from those Lu Shishir had roped in, some people in the crowd stayed neutral. Jian Hongtu was one of them. Su Yingfa had come with him. He wasn't familiar with either fighter. He was just interested in watching 2 post-advancement S ranks go at it. Basically, he came for the show. Unluckily, the moment he walked in, he spotted several familiar faces. All people he'd seen in that dungeon. Compared to those getting swept up in the emotion, the ones who'd died once in that dungeon were far more alert. Right then, Jian Hongtu heard a familiar voice nearby. Hey kid, S-rank talent, so what? Don't be scared. Just do it. I'm telling you, even if you know you can't win, charge in and give him 1 punch. A fist fighter yelled down at Chen Fan. It's fine if you lose. Have the courage to face defeat. Go for it, kid. Watching Chen Fan dare to punch above his weight and challenge an S rank, the fist fighter saw himself. The one in that dungeon who'd stood up against everyone's doubts and charged headfirst at an unbeatable enemy. Full-on kindred spirit moment. Isn't that the guy the bear one-shot in the dungeon? Someone nearby couldn't stand it anymore. You brainless meathead. Don't lead the kid into a ditch with your nonsense. Fist fighter. At least I died better than you cowards. He'd found out later that everyone who survived until the end had died too, quickly and brutally. Except for 2 of them who managed to show any real skill. The rest died, without even casting a single spell. Not convinced. You had that same look inside the dungeon. And how did that turn out? The fist fighter puffed up his chest. Real wisdom looks like foolishness, know what I mean? I went in early. At least I traded a hit with the bear and used my full skill. You? You didn't even touch a hair on it before you were gone. And you have the nerve to laugh at me. The atmosphere tensed. The people he'd called out looked especially awkward. Judging by the results, he had a point. They really hadn't touched a hair on that bear before getting 1 shot. Don't get cocky. Pot calling the kettle black. You still got 1 punch too. What's the difference? Better than you at least. Faced with someone this obnoxious and knowing they were in the wrong, they wisely shut their mouths. Up in the stands, everyone was arguing. Meanwhile inside, Chen Xuanan's and my match was about to start. The stage was a standard virtual space. The terrain was about the size of an 11-a-side soccer field. Cross the boundary, and an invisible wall of air would block you. The stage loaded quickly. All that was left was for us to load in our personal info, and we could enter. Oh right, I forgot to tell you. I've prepared a little surprise for you. Chen Xianan started calmly. During the World Dungeon, I was still level 20. Sorry to say, this week I got the class advancement material, and I've already succeeded. I'm now level 21. He'd gotten it that day in the plaza, but kept it quiet, saving it for this moment. The stage was already up. The only way to end it was surrender or one side hitting 0 HP. I had no way out. Naturally, he had nothing left to hide. He wanted me to feel, bit by bit, what being crushed from every angle felt like. And more, he wanted me to see clearly that even among mage cores, there was still a gap. Both of our movements and voices were synced to the big screens outside the arena. Everyone outside could hear. What? Chen Xuannan's already changed class? That's Chen Xianan for you. Game over. Now there's really no chance. I was hoping to see if a C rank could upset an S rank, but he's already advanced. How's Chen Fan supposed to compete? Strong talent means faster leveling. When you can't even match his level, how can you even play? Turns out talent's what matters most. Fighting a talent monster like this in no restriction mode is just a death wish. The moment Chen Xianan finished loading his info, the crowd cheering for him got louder and wilder. Class change. Funny thing, I'm level 21 too. The moment I said it, my status panel slowly displayed my info. Level 21. Level 20 and level 21 might only be one apart, but the difference was night and day. One had advanced, the other hadn't. Chen Xianan stared at my level display. I wasn't lying. Was I really level 21? How was that possible? Chen Xianan knew exactly how hard the 100-person dungeon was. This past Saturday, in his match, not a single opponent was S rank, and he'd still worked himself to the bone and burned through several painful items to secure first place. If his luck had been just a little worse and he'd faced an S rank, he wouldn't have been confident. How could Chen Fan have gotten first place? How could he have advanced? He wasn't the only one shocked. Everyone in the stadium who saw my info was stunned. Chen Fan's also level 21? Am I seeing things? Seeing things my ass. If you can misread a screen this big, go home and raise pigs. It's level 21. See? See. A C-rank talent can succeed at class advancement too. A C-rank talent can get first place in a dungeon too. In a corner of the crowd, Lu Shishir stared blankly at my level bar. It felt like a dream. She still remembered, just a week ago, Chen Fan had been level 10, stumbling through dungeons. Only a week. How had he already advanced? Why? Wasn't I supposed to be the one advancing? I'm an A-rank talent, and I haven't even done it. What right does Chen Fan have? Outside the prep area, Chen Xianan felt lightheaded. Chen Fan had advanced too. After a moment, he thought of Lu Jia and of Hongdo. That Chen Fan had earned the advancement material with his own skill? He'd never believed that. But if it was Lu Jia or Hongdo behind it, that started to make sense. Right. The dungeon this weekend was the Mage Class Advancement Dungeon. Whoever got first place could gift the material to someone else. Give the material to Chen Fan, and Chen Fan could advance to Mage. Once he thought of it, it all clicked. That was it. It wasn't Chen Fan's own ability. Someone else had run it for him. Chen Xianan burst out laughing. Chen Fan, I really didn't expect this. I don't know what you did to get someone else to work for you willingly. But it doesn't matter. No matter how much you fool people, you're still just a C-rank mage. All your effort means nothing in front of talent. After his big laugh, he was the first to step into the arena. He was now convinced. Chen Fan's material was someone else's doing. And if someone else had run it for him, there was nothing to fear. The moment he said it, plenty in the stands laughed along. So that's how it is. I knew it. A C-rank like Chen Fan couldn't possibly get first. Who knows what he paid to trade for that material? Probably only the two of them know. But it wasn't anything anyone would want to see. So Chen Fan advanced too. This just got interesting. Interesting? You really think a C-rank can fight an S-rank? Even at the same level, they're not on the same tier. On the other side, I wasn't alone anymore. Zhao Cheng, Luo Juanda, and the others were looking at those still fooled with pure disgust. That's the limit of your narrow view. When Chen Fan was speed-clearing dungeons in 10 minutes, none of you even knew he existed. If it wasn't for Chen Fan, I'd never have made it back to the outer city. He's just low-key, not weak. Laugh now. When Chen Xianan loses, you'll all be crying. Nobody was backing down in the stands. With this many people, it wasn't one-sided anymore. My supporters were fighting my corner. Inside the arena, I pulled my focus back and locked it fully on Chen Xianan. This was my first time fighting an S-rank mage, and one-on-one at that. What defined a mage? High damage, but long charge times, fragile bodies. All of that applied to me too. But I also knew my advantage. My strength was my summons. And their stats weren't what a level 21 should have. The 100-person dungeon had already proven that. Across from me, after those two commotions earlier, some of Chen Xuannan's contempt had faded. To play it safe and prevent any surprises, he wanted to end this fight as fast as possible. For that, he decided to use his talent skill. He wanted to send Chen Fan out of the arena in the most complete, most powerful way, and welcome the cheers reserved only for the winner. S-rank talent, Fire Envoy. Before class advancement, this talent doubled the damage of his next spell. After advancement, the leap didn't just double damage, it also cut casting time in half. For a mage, this boost was massive. Powerful spells often needed a long wind-up. This talent compressed that significantly. Combat changed by the second. Cutting casting time in half meant far more room to maneuver. More than that, it created an information gap when fighting people. Like the meteor spell he was about to cast. Normally, it required an 8-second chant to trace the formation in the sky and summon a small meteor. With his talent, only 4 seconds. Think about it. When the opponent thinks he needs 8 seconds and he only needs 4, they usually can't react in time. No defense. That was Chun Xuanan's plan. Of course, a mage's weakness in a one-on-one was that long wind-up. He'd prepared for that too. As he began chanting, a purple round shield materialized in his hand. A-rank single-use item, Guardian Shield. Summons a shield to block incoming attacks. As a mage core, he had plenty of these defensive tools. This was the no-restriction arena. He glanced at all the cards in his storage and refused to believe Chen Fan had anything that could break his combo. I could roughly tell what the formation in the sky was. Summoning type. I knew that all too well. The formation covered a huge area, blanketing the entire arena. Chen Xianan wasn't planning to give me any chance. First move, kill the match. But I wasn't rattled. Facing this, I only did one thing. I raised my hand and beckoned. A brown bear appeared next to me. The moment that bear appeared, one section of the stands erupted in laughter. Chen Xuanan's supporters had no idea what I was doing. This was such valuable time. You could end the fight in seconds, and I summoned what looked like a harmless bear. Ahaha. Chen Fan, what are you doing? Summoning a bear? Playing tag with a teddy. That's your trump card? A bear. I'm dying. You think a bear can beat Chen Xianan? You've got to be kidding me. Can you get any funnier? What threat can a bear be? See that giant AoE forming above? He's got a full map super. You've got a bear. How are you winning? But on the other side of the stands, the reaction was very different. No way. No way. Something's wrong here. What am I looking at? It's the bear. Isn't that the bear from the 100-person dungeon? Why is it here? Did it get lost? Bullshit, lost. Didn't you see Chen Fan summoned it with a wave of his hand? I saw it too. Somebody explained to me why this bear looks exactly like the one from the dungeon. The ones who'd been eliminated last from the safe zone were completely stunned. The bear on stage was a scar they'd never forget. Especially the fist fighter. The instant he saw the bear, his body reacted with a full-body shudder. It really is identical. Beside him, Jian Hongtu also got a clear look at the bear. He suddenly remembered what Su Yingfa had said. Right before leaving the dungeon, he'd glimpsed a figure riding on a dragon's back. This. Could it be? There really was such a person? And that person was him? Then he thought further. He'd just heard that Chen Fan was still level 20 a few days ago. Today he was suddenly level 21. First place in the dungeon, class advancement material, class change. Everything seemed to line up. It all seemed to fit. Analysis was one thing. But Jian Hongtu didn't dare believe it. Give me a break. He'd just been bummed out and come to the arena to watch someone else get roasted. And now he was the one getting roasted. If Chen Fan really was the guy who took first in the dungeon, then this whole crowd of spectators, they were the biggest joke. Of course, not everyone thought that way. Some had died early or been swept up in the flames without ever seeing the bear. They looked at the shocked faces around them and had no clue what was going on. What? Why the huge reaction to this bear? Doesn't look that special to me. It's just a bit taller than a person. The bear-type monsters I saw in the dungeon were bigger. What's so scary? If a fire dragon showed up, sure, be scared. But a bear's got you all rattled. Some so-called smart guy tossed that line out, and everyone else in the audience broke out in a cold sweat. Damn it, shut your mouth. It's a good thing you died early. If you can't talk, don't. Nobody thinks you're mute. After I summoned Annie, she didn't waste any time. Fists like sandbags, she charged straight in. Chen Xiannan, you had summoning too? This is your trump card? This is all you've got? Then sorry to disappoint. A third-rate summoning like this can't even break my sure. Crack. Before he finished, the shield in front of him shattered. Under one punch from Annie, the A-rank item vanished like it wasn't even there. Chen Xuanan's face showed panic for the first time. He swallowed the rest of his line and pulled item after item out of his bag, hurling them out. None of them slowed Annie down for even a second. The terrifying Annie ignored them completely and pressed on. The items shattered the moment they got near her. What is this? Why isn't any of it working? Watching Annie close in, Chen Xianan lost all confidence in taking her head on. A flash of light beneath his feet. He shot backward, opening up a huge distance between himself and me and Annie. Far outside Annie's attack range, Chen Xianan, having escaped, wore a face full of rage. Fine. This new item lets me instantly open distance. I'd saved it for an Hondo. I never thought you'd force me to use it. You do have some skill. But this is where it ends. He looked to the sky. The formation, which was supposed to still be half a chant from completion, was instantly complete. Seeing it come together, Chen Xuannan's expression finally loosened up. Your attack, I took it. Now I want to ask, what will you do about this one? There was defiance in his eyes and his own pride. The formation covered the entire field. Even if Chun Fan had a teleport item, it wouldn't matter. In other words, Chun Fan had no choice but to eat it. I felt something and looked up. Above me, the formation had just snapped into place. I understood quickly. So this was Chun Xuannan's talent skill. It sped up formation completion. I opened my palm. A fire-red crystal materialized. Good thing I hadn't been idle either. The crystal was fully lit. The dragon patterns on it were clear. S-rank item. Fire Dragon Soul. While controlling Annie, I'd been channeling fire crystals into the Fire Dragon Soul. I hadn't planned to use Final Meteor. That was a calculated call. After casting Final Meteor last time, I'd realized its weakness. The prep time was too long. In a one-on-one, no one would just stand there and let you cast. It was a serious disadvantage in solo duels. Plus, while casting, only my consciousness could move. My body couldn't. So I fell back on the same trick from the dungeon. Skip the strongest skill for the opener and go with Fire Dragon Soul. I had other options too, like going close range and unlocking the 8 gates. But after seeing what Annie could do, that suicidal work was better left to a summon. Now, the formation above was done. So was my prep. Listening to Qin Xiannan, I got what he meant, but I just gave a small smile. Who said I was going to dodge? Roar. A long, deep dragon's roar echoed across the arena. With it came a massive dragon-shaped projection. The moment the projection appeared, the formation Qin Xiannan had just completed shattered. In front of the dragon I'd summoned, the formation was as fragile as paper. One roar, and the formation collapsed. The massive dragon's shadow blanketed the entire arena, dimming the light on the ground. Rings of flames swirled around its body. The fire dragon. Back again. Seeing this massive creature in the arena, the ones who came just for the show couldn't hold themselves together anymore. The ones who'd just been asking, what's the deal with this bear, were completely dumbstruck. The one who'd been talking tough about how, it's not the fire dragon, what's there to be afraid of, was now pale as a sheet, shaking all over. It really is him. That wasn't the dungeon's shrinking mechanic. All of it was him. Damn it. I remember now. I remember everything. The bear is his pet. The dragon is his too. I got killed by his pets in the dungeon without ever even seeing his face. This fire dragon's aura is close to level 40. Something this strong is his pet. Why? Up in the stands, the spectators were speechless. Some of them, the ones who'd been cheering for Chun Xiannan, flat out refused to believe Chun Fan had power this ridiculous. The others felt like total clowns. That clown crowd was grinding their teeth. In the dungeon, they hadn't even seen his face before getting eliminated, and they'd assumed the fire dragon and the sea of flames were part of the dungeon terrain. Turns out, all of that was created by his pets. Terrain made by someone else's pets. They'd been played, dragged around by 2 pets. I should have stayed home this morning. I should have slept in and never come out. I'd rather still not know about this. Some were falling apart. Some were taking it in stride, watching the unlucky ones with amused eyes. Nice. Yesterday, I was bragging to my friend that I ran into a giant dragon in the dungeon. Told him not to laugh. Even an S rank would die to it. Now I want to see if this S rank can survive. Compared to everyone else's excitement, Zhao Cheng was unusually calm. He scanned the silenced crowd with pure disdain. This is nothing. When my man Chen Fan was speed-running dungeons, none of you even existed on his radar. Didn't believe me before? Behaving now, are we? That Qin Xiannan you were all rooting for? Couldn't even block one punch. Where'd all that confidence come from? On the other side, Luo Juanda and Ling Yun kept their faces still, but their minds were racing. They glanced at each other, and both saw the same question in the other's eyes. The fire dragon. They knew it better than anyone. The one in the arena was just a projection, a stripped-down version. But they'd seen the real fire dragon. Watching it appear again, even a fool could figure it out. This had to be a fire dragon item. Chen Fan had killed that fire dragon? Their eyes were full of shock. They'd seen the fire dragon at full strength. Its speed was insane. By the time you saw it clearly, you were already dead. Only advanced prediction could keep you alive. Getting close was out of the question. They'd already thought Chen Fan keeping them alive with his superhuman perception was crazy enough. Turns out, there was even crazier. They didn't even know when he'd made his move or when he'd taken the dragon down. Still, after everything last time, they were already grateful to Chen Fan. Without him, they'd both be dead. So even though their minds were churning, their faces gave nothing away. Wang Jing's face carried a warm, proud smile. Chen Fan was a student in her class, and a kid she'd been looking out for all along. When students got stronger, of course she was happy. All the care she'd shown hadn't gone to waste. Chen Fan had grown. Not just grateful, he'd made this many friends and could even pull off tricks she couldn't fully understand. She was more sure than ever that she'd made the right choice. While the stands buzzed with talk, down below, Chen Xuannan's face had gone dark. He felt a massive pressure bearing down on him. Not just from the visual. There was an energy signature pressing on him too. The kind of suppression that came from a much higher level. You could only feel it when facing it directly. Chen Xian'an realized something. This fire dragon was nothing he could match up with. At least, not on his own. Get hit once, and he was dead. Backed into a corner, his expression twisted. Chen Fan, you keep surprising me. He sneered. If I'm not mistaken, that's at least an S-rank item, right? I wouldn't have guessed you'd have something like that. But you think you're the only one with S-rank items. He pulled something from his robes. A turtle shell radiating green light. S-rank item. Hermit shell. The shape wasn't the most dignified. If he hadn't been cornered, Chen Xian'an wouldn't have used it. But he had no choice. Without it, he had no chance of surviving the fire dragon's attack. The moment he activated it, a gray-white HP bar appeared in Chen Xuannan's status panel. It rapidly overlaid his original health, packed and thick, with no end in sight. Pushing me this far, you should be proud. He said slowly. Time to finish this. That massive shield of health gave him the guts to face Chen Fan head-on. That teleport item from before appeared in his hand again. Layer up with an ultra-thick shield first, guarantee survival. Then teleport in close and finish Chen Fan. However good Chen Fan was, wasn't he still a squishy mage? Just get past the bear, tank the first wave with the shield, close the gap, and this was over. His figure appeared in front of me. Above, the sea of flames poured down, covering the whole field. But Chen Xian'an had the turtle shell protecting him. The flames couldn't hurt him, not for a while. And he'd already closed the distance to me, a cruel smile on his face. Chen Fan, all this is external. You're just a squishy mage. With me this close, how do you survive? As he spoke, he'd already raised his fist, a flame burst spell forming in his palm. He was going to end me with this one move. What he didn't expect. Even with him this close, I wasn't rattled at all. A faint smile tugged at my lips. How do I survive? That's a question you should be asking yourself. I could barely contain my glee. He'd been so far away, I hadn't had a chance to show off any other skills. Now perfect. Chen Xian'an had walked right into it. Did Chen Xian'an really think the bear and the fire dragon were my biggest cards? Did he know how I'd gotten them? My own skills were the real foundation. While thinking it, my hands didn't hesitate. 8 gates of ignition. A soft shout. A massive ring of light bloomed around me. It transformed into a fire wheel wrapped in searing flames, splitting out in 8 directions. The fire wheels were like walls of flame. Chen Xian'an was too close. He ate several of them at once. But he didn't even glance at his HP. His attention was locked entirely on those fire wheels. How could Chen Xian'an not recognize what was crashing into him? He knew it too well. Last time, it was these fire wheels that had one-shot him. But shouldn't this be the hidden skill of the world boss, the molten golem? Why? Why did Chen Fan know a world boss's hidden skill? Chen Xuannan's eyes went blank. Inside, he was falling apart. The impact from the fire wheels hit harder than the fire dragon above. By the time he came to, his HP was almost gone. Less than 100 points left. And those 100 were still dropping fast. He stood there frozen. I lost. Yes, he'd lost. And he hadn't even lost just now. He hadn't lost because of the class advancement gap. He'd lost the moment he set foot in the world dungeon. Looks like you remember now? My voice cut into his ears, sharp. How about it? Feel familiar? Against those fire wheels, the S-rank item he'd just used might as well not exist. That gray HP bar couldn't block the fire wheels at all. Don't get it. I smiled. That's the point of not getting it. What I just cast was 8 gates of ignition. One of its attributes was true damage. That one property was the natural counter to Chen Xuannan's turtle shell. However thick the shield's HP was, it was still just a shield. It could block the fire dragon's flame damage, but not the true damage from the fire wheels. True damage. Ignores shields. Ignores magic resistance. Up in the stands, Lu Shishir was stunned too. The fire wheels. In the world dungeon, he'd already had this power? Lu Shishir couldn't wrap her head around it. The more she thought about it, the more it terrified her. Damn it. Why did it have to happen after he left the team? Why does the good stuff never come to me? At that moment, her feelings were tangled beyond words. Watching Chen Xian'an lose like this, the ones who'd been cheering for him fell silent. The other side, though, was ecstatic. Look at you all now, so quiet. What happened? Where's all that big talk from before? Look at your Qin Xianan. How long has it been? Not even a minute, and he's done. I told you. My man Qin Fan can clear a dungeon in 10 minutes. He's just low-key, not weak. And you really thought he had no skill? Zhao Cheng was grinning ear to ear. The frustration in his chest had finally let out. Watching those people's dumbfounded faces gave him a wave of quiet satisfaction. Chen Xuanan's HP hit 0, and he was teleported out of the arena. His defeat was official. Coming out, he happened to hear someone shouting outside about Chun Fan speed clearing a dungeon in 10 minutes. He'd heard that line before the match too, but back then he'd assumed it was made up and didn't take it to heart. Anyone could brag. Bragging didn't cost anything. But now, after being personally taken out by Qin Fan, that same line hit completely differently. Was it actually true? Qin Xianan remembered something else. He remembered the day he left the dungeon with Lu Shishir. He'd overheard people talking. Someone had cleared, in 10 minutes, the same dungeon they'd spent forever on. A level 20 dungeon. Fire beneath dark clouds. At the time, he'd been high on getting his skill points and hadn't thought about it. He hadn't believed it either. Now, connecting that with what he'd just heard, could that speedrunner have been Qin Fan? Qin Xianan suddenly realized. He'd lost even more completely than he'd thought. From the moment he'd teamed up with Lu Shishir and gone into the dungeon, he'd already fallen behind. One step slow, every step slow. In the end, the whole board was lost. He sighed to himself. Qin Fan had hidden this well. And that Lu Shishir. What a jinx. Ever since he'd teamed up with her, nothing had gone right. Freak death in the world dungeon. Assassination job that mysteriously failed. Now, losing to a C-rank talent. Qin Xianan made a decision. Once this was over, he was staying far away from Lu Shishir. But he also knew this didn't change the fact he'd lost. Starting today, all of Qiao City would know that Qin Xianan had lost, in public, to a C-rank talent. Sure, this C-rank couldn't be judged like a normal C-rank. But rumors never bothered with the details. Once today's result got out, people would just decide Qin Xianan was incompetent. Qin Xianan had lost to a C-rank. The thought sapped most of his fight. Even the match with An Hongdo coming up next, he didn't have the will for it anymore. I also appeared in the prep area. In the arena, once one side went down, the match was over. This fight, started by Qin Xianan and Lu Shishir, had ended with Qin Xuanan's loss. Worth noting, after losing, Qin Xianan ditched the match with An Hongdo too and just ran. That set off a storm of insults from the stands. Ducking out at a moment like this, he was the clown in everyone's mouth now. Even the ones who'd been supporting him turned into haters. Most people had come for two S ranks going at it. Instead of a fight, they'd witnessed a clown show. Outside the arena, with nothing else to watch, the crowd was about to disperse. Then something changed. Somehow, without anyone noticing, the arena had been surrounded by group after group of people. They were full gear. No one was allowed to leave. The crowd was baffled. What's going on? Why are the city guards here? No idea. Don't they only come out when there's a dangerous energy reading in the city? But it was just a match. No danger. Unless someone snuck in among us decent folks. Don't talk like that. Now you've got me freaked out. Everyone looked suspicious. But soon they realized something. They were being contained, sure, but they weren't the target. The one leading was a man in a trench coat. A few guards followed him straight into the arena. Why are they going in? Isn't everyone in there gone except staff and Qin Fan? Don't tell me Qin Fan is what triggered the alert. Could there be something wrong with Qin Fan's identity? Did the guards catch something? I said it. How could a normal person subdue a dragon like that? There had to be something shady going on. Great. More drama to watch. I walked out of the arena. Before I could even greet my old friends, the man in the trench coat was already standing at the arena entrance. Just standing there, he gave off a stay back kind of aura. Behind him, a few arena officials were hunched down, heads bowed, not daring to say a word. As the trench coat man walked closer, the noise outside quieted down. I stayed silent. The man looked at the youth in front of him, then glanced back at his crew. Pull up the arena footage from just now. The official snapped to it and hurried off. Inside, only the trench coat man and his guards remained. Don't be tense, he said. Let me introduce myself. I'm Yi Bei, captain of the Qiao City monitoring team. Qin Fan. I answered. Yi Bei. I just got an alert. There's a dangerous energy signature in this area. If it spreads through the inner city, it'll threaten a lot of lives. He explained his purpose briefly. By then, the officials had pulled up the footage. Yi Bei watched it through. You're the only one who used the arena today. He turned the footage over. It was frozen on the moment the fire dragon projection appeared. Fire dragon, is it? Yi Bei asked. Actually, he wasn't as calm inside as he seemed. He remembered. The fire dragon had appeared just a few days ago too. That time it had been in the wilderness, and he'd made a special trip out for it. By the time he arrived, the fire dragon was already dead. No trace left at the scene. Yibei had guessed, then, that whatever items the fire dragon dropped had been picked up by whoever happened to pass by. He'd never imagined that a few days later, he'd run into the person who'd picked those items up. He had to admit, this Chin-fan kid had crazy luck. Not only did he stumble across a wounded fire dragon, but he'd hit the jackpot with a top-tier item. Still, after watching the footage and confirming the source of the energy signature, Yibei's nerves settled. Wilderness unrest had been picking up lately. If something uncontrollable happened in the city too, it could turn nasty. Thankfully, it was just a summon. That kind of thing was controllable. Manage the user, and it was safe. No risk of it going wild. I confirmed that what was in the footage was the fire dragon. Yibei continued. All right, I get the picture. But the item in your hand made too much of a stir inside the city. You'll need to come with me to the monitoring team and register it. Relax, kid. His tone softened. Normally, using it in the city wouldn't be an issue. But things are unusual right now. We have to increase oversight on abnormal energy. Just a quick registration. Tell me how you got it. Cast the skill once so our instruments can log it. That way, next time you use it, my side flags you as safe and no alert goes out. Once Yibei explained, I understood. The Qiao City law enforcement wasn't coming after me for a crime. It was just that the item I'd used gave off such a strong energy signature that in a crowded place like the arena, it easily got flagged as a dangerous anomaly. In a dungeon, no big deal. After Yibei and his team went inside, the crowd outside started up again. See that? Even the arena officials went along. They really came for Chin-fan. I saw. Look over there. Chin Xiannan, the one who ran off, got dragged back. He's being questioned now. At the mention, everyone's head swiveled. Sure enough, a figure stood with head down, being interrogated by a guard. That was Chin Xiannan. All right, the one who tried to escape. Chin Xiannan stood there being questioned, head bowed. But his mood was better than it had been in a while. The monitoring team was here. Could there really be something wrong with where the fire dragon came from? Was Chin-fan about to get arrested? Was I really that lucky? Inside the quiet arena, people started coming out. Yibei and his crew. I was in the middle. They led me to the monitoring team's vehicle. He got taken in? He really got taken in? Is he about to become a fallen genius? On the other side, and Hongdo and the others watched me get taken away and looked worried. The monitoring team went by other names too. Enforcement team. Guard team. They kept the city safe. Getting taken by them usually wasn't a good sign. You think he's just too strong and they're recruiting him? I heard the outer city's been unstable lately. Really short on people. You saw Chin-fan's skills. With that kind of ability, he'd be a perfect fit. Lu Jie's words calmed the rest of them down a bit. Hu Xian was tucked in a corner, murmuring in a voice only she could hear. If he joins the monitoring team, does that mean we can't team up anymore? He promised to have dinner with me tonight. Monitoring team headquarters. In a room, Yibei and a few guards sat around a table. After my information was logged, Yibei, sitting in the middle, asked, so tell me, how did you get this item? I didn't overthink it. I gave a simple account of what had happened that day, from sensing the fire dragon to killing it with skills. Truth be told, meeting the fire dragon was pure chance. Back then, I'd only won thanks to my skill advantage. If it came down to raw strength, I wasn't even close. As I told the story, the expressions of the people around the table slowly shifted. From distracted at first, to listening carefully, to finally, looking incredulous. You did that. You used the summon to keep distance from the fire dragon, then leveraged the true damage mechanic to grind it down. You can even play it like that? Beside him, Yibei was stunned too. He'd assumed Chin-fan had just gotten lucky, grabbed a windfall. But hearing the whole thing from the kid's mouth, he realized his view had been too narrow. Luck my ass. This kid was a genius. How did he even come up with that? As if remembering something, Yibei asked further, and what level were you at the time? Only then did Yibei notice the personal info Chin-fan had registered. Only level 21. And he'd only advanced 2 days ago, which meant when he got the fire dragon item, he was probably still under level 20. Someone under level 20, using mechanics, had killed a fire dragon nearly level 40? Level 20. I gave them my level from back then. The room broke into a buzz. They weren't doubting whether I could do it. They were amazed at how I'd thought of it. Think about it. If they'd had the same conditions and no risk to their lives, they probably would have tried using summons too. Sure, the target might run away mid-fight, but if the luck went their way, jackpot. The fire dragon happened to be exactly that kind of case. It couldn't move at night, or rather, it was stuck because it couldn't find whoever had ambushed it, so it never left. Either way, my plan had worked. The S-rank item in my hand was the proof. Was that really your first trip to the wilderness? Someone asked, staring at me in disbelief. I quietly nodded. Yes. Compared to you, all my previous trips out there mean nothing. Hearing one exclamation after another around the room, I felt awkward. I just told them what happened, plain and simple. I hadn't expected this kind of reaction. But what I didn't know was that I'd opened up a whole new line of thinking for them. Of course, the trick wouldn't work in a dungeon. In dungeons, once a boss disengaged, its HP would fully reset. Yibei recovered too. A smile touched his face. You're more impressive than I thought. Sorry about the abrupt behavior at the arena. If I'd just been a lucky idiot who picked up an item, Yibei would have handled it by the book. Log it and move on. But after hearing my story, he'd suddenly gotten interested in me. Someone with talent like mine was worth knowing. So Yibei explained a little more. Here's the situation. Word from the border city recently. The Star Chasers have been active around here, causing problems. Take the outer city, or the wilderness as you'd know it. It's more dangerous than the inner city, but we've divided the areas up. Well, roughly divided. High-level monsters normally shouldn't come to low-level zones. That fire dragon should have been living on a fire plane. But you saw it. It left its territory and went to another zone, where you ran into it. Sighing wastes. Yibei told me a lot. I picked up plenty I'd never heard before. Turns out, the wilderness was also called the outer city. And the Star Chasers, whatever they were. I asked, Star Chasers? A cult of lunatics who worship destruction. Wherever they show up, disaster follows. We don't have direct proof it was them, but it's almost certainly connected. That's why the moment I sensed the disturbance in the city, I brought the whole team. I was worried the Star Chasers had already gotten inside. After his explanation, I understood. Just then, a shrill sound came from Yibei. He pulled an old-style phone from his robes. His face darkened. The phone was specially made, immune to certain kinds of interference. But it was expensive. Every call burned rare materials. Every use represented a huge cost, reserved only for emergencies. It never got used for regular communication. Something happened at the border? It's urgent. I'll keep it short. Our signal's being jammed and cut. As of now, we can't reach the dungeon world, and we can't contact the outside through normal means. The Star Chasers? Yes. I don't know what method they used. Damn. How did they even bring that thing out? Hey. The signal cut out. Yibei stood up sharply from his chair and looked toward the border city. The border was a suburb away. From here, nothing looked different. But that was just the surface. From what the border captain, Lu Chengyan, had just said, Yibei could tell. The border city was going through some catastrophic event that he couldn't fully see. ZZTZ. The comms came back. I might not be able to hold. Yibei? Whatever you do, don't come. Hold the inner city for me. Hold on to Chao City's hope. That was all he managed. Then the comms cut, completely. The room fell into a brief, dead silence. Yibei had been on speaker with the whole team. Everyone had heard the exchange. And in that moment, no one could speak. Lu Chengyan's last words were too heavy, like a boulder settling on everyone's chest. Even I understood what the border city meant. It was the main node connecting the other city zones. And it was what kept the real horrors on the outside. Compared to what lay beyond the border, the dangers in the outer city wilderness were child's play. Out there, it was the unknown mixed with lethal threats. You might take a few steps and get swarmed by monsters 40 levels above you. You might suddenly start bleeding out, hit with status effects you'd never even heard of. That was why the border was manned by the city's strongest fighters. The border captain, above all, at least level 60. And the captain didn't operate alone. There was a whole team of trained fighters, working in perfect sync. Combined with the border city's built-in defensive formations, even a level 80 tyrant would run into a wall. But just now, that captain had said he might not be able to hold. If even the outer city, with the city's strongest firepower, couldn't hold, could the inner city, where I was, really hold? Yibei was still staring into the distance. His mind was tangled in knots. He could feel the urgency in Lu Chengyan's voice. Damn Star Chasers. The dilemma was brutal. Reason told him. If Lu Chengyan couldn't hold and told him not to come, he should listen. Stay in the inner city. Use the formations to buy some time when the danger arrived. With comms cut, other regions would know something was wrong too. Reinforcements from the capital had to be on the way. All he had to do was hold, and there was hope of rescue. But if he did that, Lu Chengyan and the outer city would definitely die. Lu clearly knew that too. That's why he'd paid such a huge cost just to get those last words out. Yibei thought about it for a long time. He really wanted to go help Lu, his closest friend. He wanted Lu to survive more than anyone. But he had a responsibility too. As captain of the city's monitoring team and its strongest fighter, he had to answer for all the ordinary people in the inner city. especially those about to attend the Beijing University evaluation. They were Qiao City's future, Qiao City's hope. If he left, and something went wrong in the city, everything would fall apart. He couldn't leave. He wasn't allowed to leave. If Captain Lu Cheng'an dies, does that mean the entire outer city falls? I asked. Yibei nodded, then explained. The outer city has our strongest fighting force. I'll be honest with you. If they can't hold, we won't last any longer than they did. Several team members spoke up. Captain, we should still go help Captain Lu Cheng'an. What if we're the difference? With us added in, we might stop those things. Our brothers out there are in trouble. No matter what, we have to at least go check. Others disagreed. You think the captain doesn't want to go? You think he doesn't get lips gone, teeth cold? Did you think about what happens if the captain leaves and something else happens in the city? The border was the Star Chasers' work. Who's to say they haven't planted something inside the city? If we leave, who takes care of the people in the inner city? But we can't just watch them die right in front of us. Yeah, I have a brother out there. A few more days, and he'd have rotated back to the inner city for rest. The team members had their own thoughts. Nobody could convince anyone. Eventually, all eyes turned to Yibei. Captain, you decide. We'll follow your call. One spoke, and the rest chimed in. Yibei pulled his gaze back and clenched his fist. Weighing everything, he had to make the hard call. How about I go take a look at the border? I offered. The room went silent. They were the city guard team, the city's protectors. Doing that was their duty. But I was here for the first time today, and I wasn't even a member of the guard. Did I really understand what going there meant? One team member asked me directly. Chen Fan, do you know that going to the border means dying? I nodded. I do. But we have to do something. I knew the risk. Something was happening out there. But Yibei had said it himself. Even the outer city, with all that firepower, couldn't hold. The inner city couldn't either. Whatever threat Lu Cheng'an couldn't stop, I wasn't sure I could stop. Before, I wouldn't have cared. But now, there were people in the inner city who cared about me. And I cared about them. That's why I'd made up my mind to do something. I had my reasons for speaking up. I wasn't about to go throw my life away. Yibei's gaze was heavy. Chen Fan, I understand how you feel. But not all of us are dead yet. It hasn't come to sending a kid who hasn't even started college. I said, I can summon a fire dragon. I can hold the high ground for vision. I can advance and retreat freely. We've already lost contact with the border. Shouldn't we scout it? Even if we come back with nothing, at least we'll know what we're up against and can prepare. The others spoke up again. Nobody wanted to abandon their comrades. With this compromise, plenty of them started nodding. Captain, let Chen Fan go. I want to go too. My brother's out there. I want to save him. Captain, we can't just leave them to die. The two sides, which had been at odds, gradually came together over the compromise I'd suggested. Yibei's gaze turned to me. Right. He couldn't go to the outer city, but Chen Fan could. But would sending him make a real difference? Yibei fell back into thought. Chen Fan was, after all, only a level 21 mage. Get caught up in something like this, and he could drop dead in an instant. Lu Cheng'an had said clearly on comms not to come. Even Lu was going to die out there. If Chen Fan went, what were his chances of coming back alive? Chen Fan, you know how dangerous this scouting is. Are you sure? Nobody's forcing you. If you change your mind, I'll send someone else. I didn't hesitate. I'm sure. With my answer, Yibei had made up his mind. He'd run through every possibility. There wasn't a better option. This was it. He couldn't get out to see his brothers in the outer city, but he couldn't do nothing either. If he did, the whole team's spirit would break. His own too. Yibei closed his eyes. Deep exhaustion showed underneath, making this call weigh on him. Even staying in the inner city wasn't safe. He opened his eyes. He looked at his team, then at me. All right, Chen Fan, I'll remember you. Then Yibei named 2 people. He only let those 2 go with me. Everyone else who wanted to come was held back. 2 people, plus me. That was Yibei's carefully considered call. For pure recon, 3 was enough. Some preparation was still needed. Yibei stepped out for a bit and came back with an armful of items. He handed me a scroll and passed the rest to the 2 experienced guards. These are long-range teleport scrolls, usable in the outer city and the border. You've all seen the return teleport before. Normally, these work fine. With the border situation, the scrolls might be affected, but better to have them than not. Remember, your priority is scouting. Your own safety comes first. Once you have the cause, or your life is threatened, use this scroll to teleport back immediately. Your lives are worth more than these items. Yibei laid it out word by word. Once that was set, he started deployment inside the city. From this moment, no one could leave, and anyone trying to enter would be strictly screened. The inner city looked as peaceful as ever on the surface. But no one knew that beneath that calm, a massive disaster was already unfolding. And with all information cut off, my team and I became the scouts. Orders given. Yibei stood in front of the monitoring team's tower, watching the three of us leave the city. He let out a long sigh. Come back alive. Let all of us make it through this disaster. Above the wilderness, a massive dragon soared through the sky, three figures standing on its back. Gotta say, riding a dragon is way too cool. Someone let out the thought. The other two smiled. That was us. The three scouts sent out from the inner city. I'm Feng Yi. He's Su Qing. One of the guards introduced himself. Feng Yi was riding a dragon for the first time. He'd never enjoyed this kind of treatment on missions before. He'd worried Chen Fan would slow them down. But the moment he saw the fire dragon, he knew he'd worried for nothing. Never mind everything else. Just this fire dragon, comparable to something over level 30, meant Chen Fan wasn't going to be dead weight. The fire dragon saved them a lot of trouble. Mountains they used to have to climb, now they flew over. Cut out all the winding routes. If they ran into danger, the fire dragon was at the front. They'd have plenty of time to react. Plus, Feng Yi spent his days in the outer city. He knew this terrain better than most bounty hunters. Under his guidance, they didn't run into a single problem. The three of them closed on the border city as fast as possible. The three looked ahead. Their expressions turned grave again. The border remained a mystery. No one knew what they'd find when they arrived. Hold on tight. I'll speed it up. At the same moment, border city. The sky was thick with dark clouds. Beyond the walls, a pale blue circular formation shielded the entire border city. The dome had already cracked in several places. It looked like it could shatter any moment. Below, Lu Cheng'an looked outside, his expression grim. Out there was a massive dark mass. Waves of unknown creatures were hammering the protective formation, draining its energy fast. But those weren't what worried him most. What really worried him was the star chasers. Those creatures had come before. Every time, the formation had kept them out. This time started the same. But this time, the star chasers were involved. Lu Cheng'an really hadn't expected the star chasers to bring that thing here. Watching the mist in the sky, his heart sank to its heaviest. Captain, report. Formation energy at 30%. Comms still down. Formation damage at 80%. One more from that big one, and the formation goes down. The reports came one after another, painting the border's real-time situation. Lu Cheng'an nodded quietly. Got it. He stood up and walked outside. Rows of soldiers were already lined up beyond the walls. Each of them had fought alongside him. Every one of them was a living person. Behind each one, a family. Lu Cheng'an finally spoke the truth, and it weighed heavy. I'm sorry to tell you all. Reinforcements might not come in time. We have no way back. Comms are cut by the star chasers. Teleportations jammed by spatial interference. We can't escape. Behind us is the inner city. If we run, our children, our loved ones, our families are the ones who face this. What comes next is the real beginning. Warriors. Every minute we hold gives the people behind us another minute to live. The soldiers didn't waver at the loss of retreat. Coming to this dangerous place, many of them had already made peace with dying. The border was never safe. Attacks came daily. One mistake and lives were lost. Screw them. I've been sick of them for a while. Want to reach the inner city? Step over my body first. The star chasers aren't even human. If I survive, every one of them I see, I kill. The first wave had come so suddenly they hadn't had time to raise the defensive formation. Lost a lot of brothers. Only after the formation went up did they get a moment to breathe. Now, everyone could see the cracks in the formation clearly. They all knew what it meant. The formation was almost done. Any moment, they'd be back on the front line. Lu Cheng'an looked out. The mist was slowly receding. Seeing the mist pull back, Lu Cheng'an didn't relax at all. His expression only got grimmer. Because from within the mist emerged a thunder dragon. An ancient thunder dragon, its body wrapped in blood-red lightning. Abyssal ancient thunder dragon. The moment Lu Cheng'an saw it, rage surged inside him. He had no idea where the star chasers had gotten this dragon. An hour ago, it had appeared out of the sky without warning. So sudden they hadn't had time to raise the formation, and it had killed over a dozen of their brothers in one shot. Every crack in the formation was its work. Here it comes, Lu Cheng'an said quietly. Their breathing room was over. They were about to charge back in. This time, there was no fallback. The defensive formation could block one more attack from the ancient thunder dragon. Then it would be finished. No formation to buffer, no reinforcements coming. A level 100 ancient thunder dragon. Star chasers, star chasers. What a play you've made. The killing intent in Lu Cheng'an's eyes was cold. If not for this level 100 ancient thunder dragon the star chasers had brought, they wouldn't be this cornered. Wouldn't have lost this many brothers. Watching the thunder coiling in the sky, ready to fall any second. The dragon's massive silhouette pressed down like a boulder on everyone's heads. Everyone braced. When the lightning fell, when the barrier broke, that was the moment they'd trade their lives to buy time. But right then, another horror unfolded. What is that? That's never happened before. Spatial rifts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 spatial rifts. Something else? Don't tell me it's another Demon Lord tier. Everyone's resolve wavered. Just now, more than just lightning coiled in the sky. Multiple spatial rifts had opened across the border. The rifts widened slowly, pitch black inside, nothing visible. And yet, deep within, it felt like a massive eye was watching them all. Everyone felt the fear rise, including Lu Cheng'an. Watching those rifts expand, his back was already cold with sweat. One Demon Lord tier had almost wiped them out. Another Demon Lord tier, how were they supposed to fight? Despair welled up in Lu Cheng'an's heart. Was the sky itself trying to wipe out the whole city? 10 spatial rifts. Something they'd never seen before, appearing alongside the Demon Lord. The pressure they gave off was no less than the Demon Lord's. Many of them, in that first moment, assumed the mysterious rifts were another Demon Lord. After all, they knew the abyssal ancient dragon out there. That dragon didn't have this kind of attack. If it did, they wouldn't be alive right now. That's it. We're really going to die. They even brought reinforcements. We don't have a single one. Damn. The border city looked up at the rifts tearing open in the sky, despair on their faces. One Demon Lord tier had already cost them countless lives. Now the great formation was about to break. What were they supposed to do against two Demon Lords? Lu Cheng'an opened his mouth. As border captain, he felt he should say something at a moment like this. But the words caught in his throat. There was nothing to say. He knew. Against two Demon Lord tiers, their already slim survival odds were now infinitely close to zero. As for reinforcements, none would come. Lu Cheng'an quietly tightened his grip on his spear. Two Demon Lords had appeared outside the city. Please, don't let another one appear inside. If Yibei's team had to face a Demon Lord, they'd have it even worse. Crack. Bad news piled onto bad news. The teleport formation had also hit its limit. He could clearly hear the fracturing sound coming from it. Ripples spread across the barrier. SHHHH. Finally, the barrier collapsed into a shower of blue lights and shattered completely. The border descended into chaos again. Those demons from the abyss had powers you couldn't easily imagine. Lu Cheng'an pointed his spear forward. At this point, talk is useless. Only battle. Charge. In the sky, the abyssal ancient thunder dragon hung like a massive sword, ready to fall at any second. Lu Cheng'an didn't move. His eyes locked onto the ancient thunder dragon. Without the protective formation, if the ancient thunder dragon struck again, he'd have to be the one to take it. Cold sweat beaded in his palms. He was barely past level 60. Even a level 80 tyrant tier would give him trouble. And that thing in the sky was a Demon Lord tier, far stronger than a tyrant. The Star Chasers, every one of them, are lunatics. Lu Cheng'an kept his eyes on the sky. The massive rifts kept widening, light seeping through, like a set of eyes opening in the black sky. Those unfamiliar eyes gave him no sense of safety. He just hoped the two Demon Lords wouldn't attack together. One Demon Lord, maybe there was some chance of maneuver. Two together, no escape. The Thunder Dragon had just attacked and wasn't moving again. For now, the pressure on Lu Cheng'an was manageable. They'd faced attacks like this before. Even without the Great Formation, working together, they could barely hold off the Abyss creatures. But all of that assumed the ancient Thunder Dragon stayed out of it. The moment it moved, that fragile balance shattered. Would the Thunder Dragon stay out of it? Obviously not. While Lu Cheng'an was still thinking, the ancient Thunder Dragon in the sky moved again. Its massive body coiled across the sky. Blood-red lightning arced across its scales. Another powerful attack was charging up. Having been hurt slightly by the formation before, the ancient Thunder Dragon had no intention of getting close. Even with the formation broken, it charged from high above. Once ready, what awaited the border city was a lightning baptism from the heavens. Damn it, Lu Cheng'an ground his teeth. The ancient Thunder Dragon had the high ground advantage. The only option was to interrupt it. But the dragon was too far away. Ordinary ground attacks couldn't reach it. And ranged skills that could reach it, the dragon had plenty of time to dodge. That was the advantage of high ground. Lu Cheng'an, at the end of the day, couldn't fly. For now, he had no answer for that dragon in the sky. He tried leaping attacks a few times. The dragon dodged each one easily. If only Yibei were here. Right then, something else happened. The rifts in the sky expanded to their limit and stopped. Then they snapped fully open, and intense red light poured from them. The environment shifted instantly. The air temperature soared. That single change stopped the Abyss invasion in its tracks. The abyss creatures still trying to push and only made it a few steps before their bodies burst into flame. As more and more of them ignited, the ones behind were forced to stop. Some even started to retreat, but even that only delayed the flames. The retreating ones didn't escape either. A few steps back, and they too caught fire. And this burning only targeted the abyss creatures. It didn't affect the border city's soldiers at all. The soldiers, moments ago fighting for their lives, stopped. They watched the fleeing, screaming abyss creatures, confusion in their eyes. What just happened? Why are they combusting? Wait, look at the sky. There are 10 suns in the sky. Once they stopped, more of them noticed the change above. Everyone looked up. Sure enough, 10 dazzling suns had appeared, blazing. That changed just now. It has to be connected to those 10 suns. But we've never seen these before. What are they? None of them had ever seen this. Everyone's eyes turned to their captain. Captain, is this one of our formations? We had a formation this scary. It appeared right alongside the ancient thunder dragon. Scared me half to death. Really ours? Captain, you were hiding this? We've never seen it before. Even the person who'd been reporting intel earlier had confusion on his face. He knew the state of every formation and energy source in the city better than anyone. Every formation had been damaged. Could this really be a hidden one the captain had been keeping in reserve? Feeling all eyes on him, Lu Chengyan couldn't answer. This obviously wasn't a hidden formation. Come on. He'd been ready to melee the ancient thunder dragon. If they had a formation like this, would he have been that desperate? But if it wasn't a formation, then what was it? Lu Chengyan had to guess soon enough. Only a handful of places would know what they were going through here. It wasn't hard to narrow down. Was it Yi Bei's reinforcements? No, impossible. Yi Bei didn't have this kind of power. Could it be reinforcements from the capital? Was it reinforcements from the capital? Lu Chengyan murmured to himself. Beyond that, he couldn't think of another possibility. But he was also a little puzzled. Would reinforcements from the capital arrive this fast? The attack had come so suddenly they'd never had the chance to send a distress signal. What appeared at first was just an unusually large-scale attack, nothing that seemed to require calling for help. Then the ancient thunder dragon showed up and destroyed all their outside comms. Logic said if the capital had gotten word, the first team to arrive would be scouts. Their strength shouldn't have been particularly high. Or was he being too narrow-minded? Could a capital scout team really be this strong? While Lu Chengyan's suspicions churned, the sky shifted again. After the 10 massive suns appeared, mist billowed out around them, splitting the sky against the abyss's black fog. The abyss creatures unconsciously edged away wherever the mist touched. But the ancient thunder dragon didn't flee like the others. It was observing. Right then, the mist grew thicker. Faint white specks flickered through it. The moment they appeared, they multiplied fast, filling the whole sky. Red ripples pulsed from within the 10 massive suns. The white specks began to fall. The soldiers got fired up. You're kidding. There's more. A wide area burn wasn't enough? There's a second attack. That doesn't look like anything the border should have. Doubts started forming in their minds. This wasn't something their city should have. The border's main job was defense. Every formation here was built for defense, almost nothing offensive. Even what was offensive had limited power. But these 10 suns, just by appearing, had scared off the abyss creatures. The attack power was off the charts. If a second wave came, what would that look like? The thought lit up their faces with excitement. They'd been suffocating for so long, watching more and more of their brothers fall in front of them, powerless. No hope of victory, no rescue coming. This sudden white light was like a lighthouse. It rekindled every hope in their hearts. Boom, boom, boom. The white specks fell faster and faster, slamming into the ground. The soldiers could finally see what was falling. Meteors. Meteors wrapped in flames. Every meteor that landed vaporized swaths of abyss creatures. Direct hits were kills. Even the ones that weren't hit were shaken to death by the shockwaves rolling out one after another. Beyond the border, a one-sided massacre unfolded. The pitch-black tide of the abyss now showed red patches everywhere the meteors landed. The abyss creatures, which no amount of killing had seemed to dent, were now visibly thinning out. Everyone quickly put it together. This might be rescue arriving. We're saved. We're saved. Reinforcements really came. Lu Chengyan watched the receding tide, and most of the pressure on his heart lifted. From his years of experience here, once a tide like this pulled back, it couldn't reform for a while. In other words, they'd successfully repelled the abyss invasion. Repelling the invasion was one thing. To truly be safe, they still had to deal with the ancient thunder dragon in the sky. Lu Chengyan looked up. The abyssal ancient thunder dragon hadn't retreated. Intense red lightning still coiled around its body, thin red lines threading between its scales. Then what the ancient thunder dragon did next stunned Lu Chengyan. After gathering all that swirling lightning, the ancient thunder dragon plunged straight into the meteor-filled clouds. This demon lord tier ancient dragon wasn't willing to just concede. Wasn't willing to dodge the meteor's edge. It was going to trade blows with the meteors. One meteor after another struck the thunder dragon's body. Scales flaked off, but its aura only grew more dangerous. The red lightning grew thicker. This thunder dragon wants to use the meteors to temper its body. What is it doing? Is it trying to break through? Lu Cheng'an startled at his own analysis. It was trying to use the meteors to break through its level cap. Could it do that? Lu Cheng'an couldn't say. At his strength, his understanding of the demon lord tier was limited. Even the meteors falling from the sky were beyond him. But he knew one thing. If the ancient thunder dragon succeeded, they were still in serious danger today. In the sky, the thunder dragon was tangled up in the swirling mists. The meteors couldn't kill it, but the mists were restricting its movement. Then Lu Cheng'an witnessed something horrifying. The ancient thunder dragon, wrapped in the mist, was dragged in one direction. It thrashed the entire way, but the thrashing did nothing. Until the ancient thunder dragon was shoved headfirst into the nearest rift. The rift closed behind it. Just like that, the ancient thunder dragon vanished. The 10 suns in the sky became 9. That was a demon lord tier abyss creature. Just gone like that. Lu Cheng'an was speechless. In one day, he'd been through too much. First a massive abyss invasion. Then the star chasers stirring things up and airdropping the ancient thunder dragon, costing the border massive losses. They'd barely managed to hold the protective formation up for a breath. And now, the abyssal ancient thunder dragon, the thing that had been suffocating the entire border and nearly wiping out Xiao City, was just gone. Meteors were still falling. Without the ancient thunder dragon, this abyss invasion had been repelled. Lu Cheng'an's feelings were tangled beyond words. But there was no time for that now. Only one thought filled his mind. He was going to see just who was capable of this. Not far from the border, the 2 guards on the fire dragon's back stared at me, shocked. Earlier, when we'd still been some distance from the border, I'd said, "Heads up, things look tense. I'm going to lay down some long-range fire support." They hadn't thought much of it. Even without me saying, they'd keep an eye on the surroundings. They hadn't forgotten this was a scouting run. The closer to the border, the more danger. But soon they noticed something strange. My level was climbing. Non-stop. Whoosh. Level 22. Whoosh. Level 30. Whoosh. Level 40. In 1 second, I'd jumped from level 21 to level 40. Hit the cap for this stage. What just happened? You were level 21 a moment ago. I blink and you're 40. Who could see that coming? A guy this big, standing right there, hits level 40 in the blink of an eye? The 2 of them were dazed. Both veterans of the guard team, they were only at level 33. They couldn't figure out what Chen Fan had done to gain levels this fast, hitting the cap in a single second. Chen Fan had said something about fire support. Could Chen Fan's leveling up be tied to that fire support? What did you do? And what was that fire support about? Truth be told, I was surprised too. I'd only sensed something was wrong at the border and cast Final Meteor for long-range support. I hadn't expected that once the meteors formed, my experience would fill up fast. If class advancement material hadn't capped me, I'd have kept climbing. Honestly, I'm not really sure. Let's get closer. We'll see. The distance had been too great. I could cast the skill from far away, but I couldn't sense what was happening on the other end. Same as in the dungeon. Final Meteor covered a massive area, but that didn't mean I could see everything inside it. I was blind firing. Turned out the blind fire had been surprisingly effective. The 3 of us on the fire dragon's back were all curious what had happened up ahead. Look, there's a dragon in the sky too. Come on, not another one. I get scared just seeing a dragon now. Is that another abyss creature that slipped through? No, doesn't look like an abyss creature. Looks more like something from the outer city. Inside the border city, once the fighting stopped, several people followed Lu Cheng'an out. They were curious about who exactly had saved them. Before they got far, they spotted the dragon in the sky. This dragon was much smaller than the abyssal ancient thunder dragon. What wrapped around it wasn't terrifying lightning, but faint, flickering flames. Seeing it wasn't an abyss creature, everyone let out a breath. For the past few hours, that ancient thunder dragon had hung in the sky like a blade ready to fall. Now the sight of any dragon shook them, left a scar. Showing up at a time like this, whoever's on that dragon must be one of the reinforcements. But the dragon's level doesn't look high. Under 40, right? From what I can see, it's not even solid. Looks like a projection. Similar to a real one, but just projected. Those usually have limits. Either a time cap or a constant mana drain. When mana runs out, it's gone. But wait. They just took out the ancient thunder dragon. Whoever summoned those 10 suns has to be at least the same level as the ancient thunder dragon. Yeah, a big shot at least level 100. Why would they keep a pet under level 40? Not necessarily. Maybe the big shot likes to keep a low profile. Nobody doubted the big shot's power. 9 of the 10 massive suns were still up. The abyss creatures kept retreating and still couldn't fully dodge the meteor strikes. That kind of endurance made a lot of people envious. Above the border, a figure appeared. He stood there like a thick city wall, radiating a strong sense of safety. Lu Chengyan heard the chatter around him too. His gaze turned to the sky. From this distance, he couldn't see clearly. From the auras, there were 3 people, and he didn't sense anything particularly special from them. That made Lu Chengyan start to doubt. Were they not the reinforcements? Was the real rescue someone else? The dragon slowly descended. Everyone could now see who was on its back. 3 people. The one in front was young. Wait, there's no big shot. The strongest is level 40. Level 40 is decent in the inner city. But this is the outer city. Level 40s are a dime a dozen out here. Forget level 40. Every one of our squad leaders is at least level 50. Yes, this was the outer city. The strongest fighting force in Qiao City. The lowest here was level 40. Several were level 50, and there was Lu Chengyan, the level 60 captain. Against that lineup, 3 people like us were nothing. Our arrival didn't look like rescue at all. More like refugees fleeing to safety. Captain Lu, hello. Captain Lu, sir. The 3 of us greeted Lu Chengyan. Lu Chengyan studied the 3 of us carefully. One face was unfamiliar. The other 2 were familiar. Veterans from Yi Bei's team. Not the strongest, but the most experienced. The ones who'd been with Yi Bei the longest. The ones he trusted most. Recognizing those 2, Lu Chengyan nearly confirmed the group's identity. They'd been sent by Yi Bei. That was very Yi Bei. For the sake of the bigger picture, he couldn't come himself, but he'd send the people he trusted most to scout and attempt rescue. As for the 3rd one, and this one is? The 2 veterans explained. This is Chun Fan. He came with us. Lu Chengyan didn't overthink it. A new face joining the team, probably. Neither of Yi Bei's veterans could summon a flying pet. The dragon had to be the young man's doing. Thinking that, Lu Chengyan looked at me with a hint of approval. Not bad. Level 40 at such a young age. Lu Chengyan gave me a nod. Anyone willing to risk their life to come rescue him left a good impression. Then Lu Chengyan turned back to the 2 veterans. On your way here, did you see anyone else? To be honest, we nearly died to the ancient thunder dragon. You saw the 10 suns in the sky, right? Those suns pulled us back from death's door. Lu Chengyan asked sincerely. The way he saw it, these 3 had just happened to show up. They were here to scout, not rescue. An attack that powerful, that widespread, wasn't something 3 people averaging under level 40 could have pulled off. But these 3 had been in the sky, with far better visibility. Maybe they'd seen someone. Part of it was gratitude toward the master who'd saved so many. Part of it was wanting to see for himself just what kind of person could hold back an army of abyss creatures plus a level 100 demon lord tier leader. So Lu Chengyan asked the question on his mind. Then he noticed something odd. The moment he asked, the 2 veterans glanced at each other. Their eyes shared a knowing look. At the same time, they turned to look at me. Him? Chen Fan. What did that mean? Lu Chengyan had always considered himself well-versed in reading a situation. But in this moment, he couldn't grasp what the 2 team members were getting at. You aren't trying to tell me the person behind all this is this young man? Was that possible? That couldn't be, right? While he was thinking, the 2 spoke up. We didn't see anyone else. What you saw earlier, it was Chen Fan. On the way here, he sensed you were in trouble and provided long-range support. The 2 of them laid out the truth. They'd seen it with their own eyes, and Chen Fan had confirmed it himself. No reason to doubt. But Lu Chengyan was stunned. Come on, guys. I was just throwing out a random thought. You're telling me it really was him? Lu Chengyan was afraid he'd seen wrong. He turned to look at me again, more carefully this time. Yep, level 40. Where in the chain did something go off? The others who'd followed him out heard the exchange too. This big shot's this young? He looks about the same age as my cousin, the one prepping for the Beijing University eval. How is that possible? He's only level 40. That world-ending meteor shower, those void-tearing rifts, he did all of that. Nobody could believe it. The 2 guard team members looked up too. They'd been too far away earlier to see. Now, seeing the damage from the meteors up close. Forget them not believing it. Even they were starting to doubt. Strictly speaking, they'd only seen Chen Fan hit level 40 in one jump, and deduced from that he must have done something big. The evidence backed it up. Piles of dead abyss creatures outside. But the question remained. Had Chen Fan really summoned the 10 suns in the sky? While everyone was still doubting, I stepped forward. I glanced beyond the border. The abyss creatures had been fully driven back. Nothing living moved anywhere I could see. That's about enough. I looked up slightly at the suns in the sky. End. One word. The falling meteors halted in place. Their light dimmed rapidly, then dissipated into the sky. The remaining 9 spatial rifts also began to close at my command. One word, and the sky returned to normal. No pale nebula. No abyss's black tide of fog, as if none of it had ever happened. But everyone's hearts pounded with excitement. What I did in that one moment was more convincing than 1,000 words. The people on the field were completely stunned. It really is him. Master, please, let me pay my respects. Thank you, Master, for saving our lives. That one gesture confirmed my identity. Forget the falling meteors. Take the rifts alone. The last thing bold enough to mess with them, or rather, the last dragon that tried, was who knows where by now. Something that had terrified everyone, and it closed up completely with just my word. Lu Cheng'an watched all of this. Now he had to believe. The only one who could command whatever was up there was the one who summoned it. Apologies. My eyes were too dull earlier. I failed to recognize you. Please forgive me, Master Chun. Lu Cheng'an bowed and offered his own apology. He was fully convinced now. The young man in front of him was a big shot. Right. Lu Cheng'an, you fool. Level 40, so young. All of that was just the surface. Someone who could one-shot an abyssal ancient thunder dragon. Was that the kind of person a lowly level 60 border captain could read? Was that something a border guard like him could understand? The shift caught me off guard too. Honestly, when I cast the skill, I had no idea what these people were going through. I just sensed the border was in danger and threw down some support on reflex. I hadn't expected that reflex to save every life here. Beep, 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 beep. Lu Cheng'an's phone rang. With the ancient thunder dragon dead, the border's comms had come back. They still couldn't reach the outside, but within Xiao City, calls were working. Lu Cheng'an glanced at me first. Seeing I didn't react, he pulled the phone out. He saw who was calling. eBay. The moment he answered, a familiar voice came through. Thank God, Lu, I finally got through. How's it going? Your comms are back. Sounds like the trouble's handled. Lu Cheng'an answered. Handled. Good. Lu, you have no idea. That message you left, it sounded like you were passing the torch on your deathbed. You scared the hell out of me. Don't say things like that again. Lu Cheng'an, I wasn't lying. When I left that message, every fallback was cut. There was no hope of survival. All right. You're still alive and well, aren't you? So what did you run into? Lu Cheng'an, abyssal ancient thunder dragon. On the other end, eBay sucked in a breath. That thing's no joke. Flies, massive lightning damage. But you're alive, so it can't have been too high level. What level did you face? Level 100. eBay, level 100. That's why you wait. What level did you just say? Level 100. eBay, level 100? Demon Lord tier? And an abyssal ancient thunder dragon? How the hell are you alive? Honestly, I can't figure out how you'd survive. When I ran into it, I didn't know how I'd survive either. That's why I called you. eBay, got it. Wait, get to the point. How did you actually survive? A Demon Lord tier showed up in person. I'd expect my own head to be rolling by now. Instead, we're both alive, having a nice chat on the phone. Luck. Master Chen came for support. Thanks to Master Chen stepping in when he did, my brothers and I are alive. Lu Cheng'an said it from the heart. Without Chen Fan's sudden intervention, what awaited them would have been the ancient thunder dragon's lightning strike. Beside him, hearing the words, Master Chen, my face twitched. On the phone, eBay picked up on the odd title too. Master Chen, you got lucky then. Well, glad the problem's solved. Right? I sent a small scouting team out. Did you run into them? I did. 2 of them. They must have crossed paths with Master Chen on the road and traveled together. eBay too? I remember sending 3. eBay asked, puzzled. Then something clicked. He asked, half on instinct. This Master Chen you keep mentioning, he wouldn't happen to be named Chen Fan, would he? This Master Chen you keep mentioning, he wouldn't happen to be named Chen Fan, would he? On the other end, when eBay asked, he was leaning toward disbelief. He'd just noticed Chen Fan shared a surname and thrown it out as a random guess. But once the words were out, the call went briefly silent. His name really is Chen Fan? Hearing no reply, eBay started to panic. Come on. From Lu Cheng'an's description, what caused this near annihilation was a level 100 Demon Lord tier. Level 100. Just a stomp could shake any city to its foundations. Something that terrifying, one shot. Whoever took it out had to be off the charts. There was no way Chen Fan did that. Just as eBay was about to ask again, thinking the signal was bad, he got a reply. Yes, his name is Chen Fan. How did you know? I didn't mention his name earlier. eBay stood there with the phone in his hand, dazed. Really, Chen Fan? Same name? Consumed by curiosity, Yi Bei asked what was on his mind. Of the 3 scouts I sent, you'd recognize 2. There was one new face. You wouldn't recognize the new face. His name is Chun Fan. Chun Fan? You sent him. At Yi Bei's words, Lu Chengyan went blank too. Everything clicked. No wonder they'd arrived so fast. They were coming from inside the city. And Chun Fan wasn't a rescue team sent by the capital. He was sent by Yi Bei. The old confusion faded, and new confusion took its place. Why had he never heard of an expert like this in the inner city? Yi Bei, listen. Chun Fan is a level 21 mage. He has a fire dragon as a summon. They flew out on that fire dragon. Lu Chengyan, the facts match up, but the level doesn't. This Master Chun is, well, he looks level 40. Lu Chengyan felt a knot in his chest and glanced over at me. He wasn't hiding the conversation from anyone. Everyone was listening in. One of the veteran guards added, Chun Fan was level 21 when he arrived. After deploying the formation and wiping out the abyss creatures, he went from 21 to 40 in 1 second. Isn't that right, Chun Fan? Hearing that, Lu Chengyan remembered. Right. Master Chun was right there. Just ask him. Feeling everyone's eyes on me, I thought for a moment. That's right. Yi Bei's account was confirmed. The 3 of them really had been sent by Yi Bei. Their original mission was just to scout. No one knew what was happening at the border. They'd all come out on a maybe, seeing if they could gather intel and rescue some people along the way. Lu Chengyan's mouth hung open. He couldn't say a word. Once he heard the whole story, he was completely at a loss. Chun Fan was really only level 40, and even that 40 was recent. Before he leveled up, he was level 21, and it was this person who'd saved the entire border. In fact, he'd saved all of Qiao City. Without the 3 of them arriving, without those meteors coming when they did, the border would have fallen. With the border gone, abyss creatures would have poured into the city unchecked. Countless people would have died. At that thought, Lu Chengyan understood. Chun Fan hadn't come from the capital. He was just a scout. But they had shown up, and they had saved the border. Whoever Chun Fan was, whatever his level, whatever secrets he was hiding, none of it mattered. What mattered was Chun Fan saved them. That was enough. Especially after talking a bit more with Yi Bei and learning Yi Bei had been at his wit's end. It was Chun Fan who'd volunteered to come. The dragon in the sky was his pet. So many links in this chain. If anyone had gone wrong, the border would already be rubble. Lu Chengyan turned to the 3 of us and thanked us again, sincerely. Yi Bei heard their conversation too. Wait, really, Chun Fan? No way. I sent you to scout. How did you run into a demon lord tier abyss creature and take it out? However, Yi Bei tried to make sense of it. He couldn't have imagined this outcome when he sent the 3 of us out. He'd meant it as recon. They'd gone and turned the whole battle around. All right, was I the one being dense? Someone with that kind of power, and I'd hauled him into the monitoring team? Even a demon lord tier just fell to him. Lucky he had a good temper and didn't hold it against me. Otherwise, my grave would already have grass on it. Wait, demon lord tier and star chasers around. Better to be careful. Yi Bei seemed to remember something and asked, the abyssal ancient thunder dragon is down. Where's the corpse? We need to handle it fast. Star chasers are nearby. No telling if they try something with the corpse. Lu Chengyan. The ancient thunder dragon's corpse is gone. Forgot to mention the details. The ancient thunder dragon was dragged into a spatial rift. Where exactly it ended up, only Master Chun would know. In his explanation, Lu Chengyan was still calling me Master Chun. He felt that anyone who saved his life earned the title. After his explanation, Lu Chengyan looked at me. Master Chun, do you know where the thunder dragon ended up? I thought about it. In the spatial turbulence. Lu Chengyan relayed it to Yi Bei. Yi Bei let out a long breath. Fine. As long as it's not here. Boom. While the 2 of them were talking, from Yi Bei's end came a violent explosion. The sound was so loud, even through the phone, it made your skin crawl. Looking into the distance, a faint blue light could be seen at the edge of the sky. Yi Bei. Yi Bei. It's the Star Chasers. Damn it. They've done something inside the city. That explosion just now, that was them. Lu Chengyan's eyes flared with anger. He had every reason to be angry. He was out here fighting, but his family and friends lived in the inner city. Same for many of the border soldiers. And now the Star Chasers had made their move right inside the city. That was a direct threat to the people they were sworn to protect. Yi Bei, don't panic. I have arrangements in the city. I'll handle it. You stabilize the border. After a moment of thought, Yi Bei added carefully. Just in case. I'm worried the Star Chasers have something else prepared. If possible, have Chun Fan. Master Chun, come back. Master, please, save the people in the city too. Master, our families are all in there. Please, Master, save our families. My brothers died because of the Star Chasers. If you see any of them, Master, please avenge my brothers. Many of them turned pleading eyes on me. Their families were all in the town. If danger struck there, it would threaten their families too. With the border stabilized, they all hoped I'd head back and help Yubei. I quietly nodded. They didn't have to say it. I was going back either way. The people I cared about were also in that city. If friends were in danger, I wasn't going to look away. When I was under threat, when I was doubted, they stood firmly by my side. I wasn't going to let them down. I understand. I pulled out the teleport scroll Yubei had given me before I left. Just like the one I used when I sent Yukiki off. Activate it, and I'd be teleported to the dungeon near the city. Moments later, I was gone. Seeing me leave, Lu Chengyan clenched his fist, praying Yubei and I could quickly put down the trouble in the city. He had a teleport scroll too, but he didn't take it out. He didn't leave. He had his duty. He had to hold this ground. Just like Yubei was watching over both the inner city and the outer city shifts, he had to hold the border. If he left, he'd be no different from a deserter. And there was no guarantee the Star Chasers wouldn't take advantage. Besides, he had work to do. The formations were shattered. He needed to organize people to repair them. Lu Chengyan didn't dare count on getting this lucky next time and having reinforcements arrive. Even this time, if the formations hadn't bought enough time, maybe rescue wouldn't have come. After I left, only the 2 guard team members remained. They had the same teleport scrolls I did. They didn't follow me back immediately. Instead, they walked toward Lu Chengyan and began pulling items from their packs to help restore the border's defenses. Clearly, when they set out, they'd each had their own tasks. Xiao City, Inner City, a restaurant. Chen Xian'an sat at a table, drinking alone. Today he'd been hit hard. He felt like his whole life had gone dark. The kind of dark where you couldn't see any hope. It all traced back to the morning's match with Chen Fan. Since that duel, he heard about it everywhere he went. In every street and alley, it was the biggest topic. The core of the talk was simple. S-rank talent lost to a C-rank. Might as well go home and raise pigs. A comeback story from a C-rank talent. Whichever version, Chen Xian'an was the loser. Nobody knew the actual details. Those had been twisted and blown up in the retelling. Most people were left with one impression. Chen Xian'an was arrogant, and he lost to the hard-working, humble Chen Fan. Even after Chen Fan was hauled off by the monitoring team in public, it hadn't changed the ending one bit. Right after the fight, Chen Xian'an pulled out of Lu Shishir's team. Lu Shishir. Chen Xian'an didn't even want to think about her. He felt that ever since he'd been stuck with her, one piece of bad luck after another had hit. Loss in the world dungeon, loss in the duel, and everything that came after. Yes, in the end, Chen Xian'an had underestimated the impact of the match. The most brutal fact. No team wanted him anymore. Even as an S-rank talent, nobody would let him join. Lower-tier talent teams thought he'd sink them. Same-tier teams looked down on him for losing to a C-rank. That was only one side of it. On the other side, friends who used to hang out with him were now keeping their distance. After running into wall after wall, Chen Xian'an finally hit rock-bottom emo mode. And he couldn't find a single person to open up to. Thinking about it, Chen Xian'an actually started to envy Chen Fan. Even with no family, Chen Fan had people who'd stand up for him. Even when the crowd was against him, someone would speak up for him. Unlike Chen Xian'an, his so-called friends had piled on praise when things were going well. The moment he was in the middle of controversy, not one of them said a good word. Some even leaked dirt on him. Damn, everyone piles on the falling wall. Why don't I have people like that in my corner? Chen Xian'an held his cup, chewed a few peanuts, and felt nothing but envy and frustration. Boom. Just as he was wallowing, he heard a huge explosion nearby. After the blast, his ears rang for several seconds before the noise faded. Then he started cursing. Who the hell's setting off fireworks at this hour? Can a guy eat in peace? Chen Xian'an had drunk a bit too much. His mood was already bad, and this sudden noise lit up all his pent-up frustration. He was furious. He wanted to find someone and beat them senseless to let it out. Chen Xian'an heard commotion outside. What's going on? He pulled the door open. The scene outside froze him. At the edge of the sky, a blue aurora stretched across. Beneath it, white lights flickered. From those white lights, black shapes poured downward, like a churning waterfall spilling over. What is that? Chen Xian'an rubbed his eyes hard. His buzz cleared a lot. Then he heard screams from below and around him. Women screaming, mixed with strange, low growls. His feet carried him toward the hallway outside. He saw someone running down the street. Behind that person, pitch-black creatures chased. They had grotesque shapes. They caught up, tore into the person, and killed them where they stood. Before Chen Xian'an could react, his own trouble arrived. Creatures had appeared near him too. And not just one. Outside the window, at the end of the hall, around the corner, even from the room he'd just left. Creatures kept pouring out. These are abyss creatures? Chun Xian snapped his head clear, instantly sober. From the records burned into his memory, he quickly recognized what these creatures were. Abyss creatures. Weren't they supposed to be blocked out at the border? Why were they here? Weren't they supposed to be in the outer city? Why were they here? 1,000 questions ran through Qin Xuanan's head. He couldn't understand why abyss creatures, which should have been outside the city, had shown up here, or why they'd shown up so suddenly, without any warning. Everything was fine a minute ago. I took a few sips, ate a few peanuts, and it turned into this? Was I not sober yet? Watching the abyss creatures crowding around him, Chun Xian realized the drunkenness was long gone. His head was clear, but he'd rather believe he was still drunk. The screaming outside kept coming. The image of that woman being torn apart played on repeat in his mind. No matter how much he didn't want to believe it, the bloody reality was undeniable. The abyss had arrived. The invasion had begun. The worst part, Chun Xian realized he had nowhere to run. He was surrounded by abyss creatures. If he wanted out, he'd have to fight his way out. This wasn't a dungeon world. Dying here didn't just mean dropping gear. This was a life or death fight. In the real world, dead meant dead. He waved his hand. A magic staff appeared in his palm. That match this morning didn't sit right. I couldn't beat the fire dragon. But you little things? Please. Chun Xian started channeling for a wide area meteor shower. Then he stopped. He was indoors. The space was tight. He'd never finish the channel in time. Even if he did land the spell, it'd probably bring the whole building down. The abyss creatures would die, and so would he. Jump. Chun Xian pulled out his emergency item. A rank item. Essence Warp. A one-time charm for long-distance movement. The charm burned. Chun Xian left the restaurant and landed on the field of a school. He wanted open ground. But once he arrived, he realized there were tons of abyss creatures here too. There were just too many of them. He looked up at the sky. They're coming out of those flickering white dots. So, they're being teleported straight here? Chun Xian finally understood what was happening. The aurora out of nowhere had opened a path for the abyss into the inner city. Every white dot beneath the blue aurora was a portal. Every flicker sent another wave of abyss creatures pouring through, black shapes cascading down like a waterfall. As far as the eye could see, that dense black mass was all abyss creatures. Chun Xian was pissed. This day just kept getting worse. What is the monitoring team even doing? Something this big and they don't notice? No warning, no response. Abyss creatures kept coming. Once they dropped near the field and spotted Chun Xian, they closed in from all directions like they'd spotted a feast. Let's see what these abyss things are made of. Better terrain now, and he'd spotted the abyss creatures early. Chun Xian had the first move. They'd take a moment to reach him, and with a long-range teleport item in reserve, he wasn't panicking. He stayed put and started channeling meteor shower. A small dark cloud formed above, thick with terrifying energy. This spell's built for crowds. The more, the merrier. Confidence bloomed in his chest. He'd lost his first fight after class advancement. He needed a win to prove himself, to vent all that frustration. What surprised Chun Xian was that the abyss creatures ignored the meteor formation and kept charging. Bunch of brainless idiots. Can't even see the trap set right in front of them. The abyss creatures closed to attack range. Meteor shower. Chun Xian waved his hand, and the formation instantly locked in. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Meteors rained down on the abyss creatures below. Watching them run into the trap without even dodging, Chun Xian grinned. He could already see them getting torn apart. He was ready to enjoy the slaughter. Still, he kept the caution due. He held the emergency escape item in his hand. The moment anything fell off, he'd bail. His only S-rank item had been used against Chun Fan that morning. Otherwise, dealing with these things, he wouldn't even need to run. Pop a shield and let them wail on him. Even without the S-rank lifeline, he still had plenty of teleport items. That was what let him stand his ground while surrounded. He didn't have to wait long. The meteors covered the whole area. As the abyss creatures walked into the trap, meteors fell, kicking up huge clouds of dust. Meteor shower had massive range, stacked with a damage doubling buff, plus his talent for faster channeling. It was terrifying, but as the dust settled, Chun Xian realized something. Nothing at all. How? That was my full power. Not a scratch. Chun Xian realized his ultimate hadn't killed a single abyss creature. The dust had blocked visibility and slowed them slightly. That was it. Not one abyss creature dead. Wrong. Something's very wrong. Time to go. Good thing I've got escape options. Sensing the danger, Chun Xian didn't hesitate. He activated his escape item. Once he used it, his panic eased slightly. These abyss creatures were tougher than he'd expected. But that didn't matter. If he wanted to run, no abyss creature could stop him. He was confident in that. He had plenty of escape items. If the arena hadn't been terrain locked, he might have even outrun the fire dragon, maybe even worn it out. Just as he was thinking that, he noticed something else off. His position hadn't changed. His body hadn't moved. The item was used, but he was still standing where he'd been. Something Chun Xian'an never expected had happened. The teleport item didn't work. Something Chun Xian'an never expected had happened. The teleport item didn't work. Why didn't it work? Chun Xian'an lost it. He frantically pulled 2 more essence warps from his pack and used them. Neither one worked. No reaction. He was still standing in the same spot. The abyss creatures were closing in, just 10 meters away. If they'd had ranged attacks, he'd already be dead. Even so, with them pressing in, the situation wasn't much better. Why aren't they working? They worked every time before. He'd used these teleport items countless times. They'd never failed. That's why he'd stocked up. With them, he'd cheesed monsters and dungeons more times than he could count. But today, the item he'd trusted for so long had failed. Danger closing fast. He pulled out an A-rank shield item, throwing up a barrier around himself to hold the abyss creatures off. Too many. The abyss creatures didn't care about a fair fight. They swarmed. The shield lasted 2 seconds. But those 2 crucial seconds bought him response time. He gave up on teleport items and pulled out something that let him fly. He counted his blessings. In the arena, death didn't cost you gear, so he packed everything that might come in handy. That gave him a way out now. Flying mushroom sausage. Chun Xian'an swallowed the sausage in one bite. A pair of faint light wings sprouted from his back. Wobbling, he lifted off the ground. Rough, but he was flying. Once airborne, he saw the endless tide of abyss creatures below. The abyss creatures crossed the last distance and swarmed over where he'd been standing. They spotted him in the sky, but they couldn't fly. For now, they had no way to reach him. He shivered inside. Lucky he'd flown up in time. Otherwise, he'd already be shredded. Phew. Chun Xian'an let out a long breath, feeling like he'd cheated death. Not sure what happened with the teleport. Good thing the mushroom sausage still works. I'll just fly out slow. He pulled another sausage from his pack and took a big bite. The dim wings on his back grew more solid. Just as he was about to fly away, the area around him seemed to brighten. There'd been a change in brightness before too, but he'd assumed it was from the wings. This time, when he stopped to look, he realized the light was coming from above him. Chun Xian'an tilted his head up, seized by curiosity. He froze at what he saw. He'd somehow drifted right under the aurora. Directly above him was a flickering white dot. It looked like it had just appeared. Chun Xian'an panicked. The other white dots were teleport entry points. The abyss creatures on the ground had come out of white dots. A teleport exit right above his head. Was something about to come through? The white dot didn't disappoint. It flickered once. Small demons with 4 flapping black wings appeared. Now Chun Xian'an understood why his teleport items had failed. A massive teleport node right above him, jamming his teleports. Too late. He had no way out. Above, small abyss demons. Below, an endless tide of abyss creatures. His only option was to fly forward, fast. But the dot kept flickering, and more demons kept spawning. Soon he was surrounded in the air too. Watching the demons close in, Chun Xian'an drowned in regret. If only he hadn't stopped on that field. If he'd just kept running, none of this would have happened. The white dot had just formed. Abyss creatures had only just started coming through. If he'd left sooner, he'd be alive. Why had he been so stubborn? Why had he assumed he could beat them? Regret filled his heart. The demons didn't care about his regret. They flew at Chun Xian'an, mouths gaping, ready to feast. He cast a few more spells in a last desperate struggle. It barely made a ripple. These abyss creatures were nothing like the ones he'd seen in dungeons. You couldn't see their levels, but their defense was thick. Spells couldn't hurt them. So these are the abyss creatures. So the border soldiers, they fight things like this every day? As his items ran out, his heart went cold. If I could do it over, I'd never have stopped. I'm S-rank talent. So what? In front of these abyss creatures, I can't even kill one. Only as his items ran dry did Chun Xian'an realize how weak he was. Amid his regrets, he slowly closed his eyes. Drained, he was torn to pieces by the small demons, one bite at a time. An S-rank talent, under the abyss invasion, died quietly in the night. His death didn't stir a ripple. Not a single person saw it. A luxury villa. Hu Xin sat in the living room, her eyes drifting outside now and then. The inner city had turned upside down. An aurora had appeared from nowhere, blue, bringing waves of unknown creatures. Fortunately, her home was far from the core of the disturbance. She hadn't taken the first hit and hadn't been in immediate danger. Once she got a clear look at the creatures falling from the sky, she recognized them. From the textbook, abyss creatures. Her whole family had gathered together. Everyone with fighting ability was stationed outside, holding off the abyss creatures. As a support, she'd cast 2 auras and come back to the living room to rest. Her auras couldn't stack, only one at a time. While everyone else was busy defending, she had nothing to do. Hu Xian looked out the window. The blue aurora was beautiful, but the black tide beneath it was chilling. Chun Fan's with a monitoring team. He should be safe. But, looks like our dinner isn't happening. Hu Xian drifted into thought. She and Chun Fan had made plans for dinner tonight. But after the match, he'd been taken away by the monitoring team. And then, this. The blue aurora from nowhere. The abyss creatures pouring from the sky. Wonder how Hongdo's doing. Hope everyone's okay. She watched the abyss creatures dropping from the sky, her eyes full of hope. Her home was far from the core of the invasion. With the family's fighters combined, she was safe for now. She didn't want Chun Fan to get hurt. She hoped her friends were all safe too. Inner city. Monitoring team. Yibei looked at the aurora stretched across the sky. He was glad he hadn't left. Otherwise, when all that black tide came down, no one in the inner city would survive. The city would become a wasteland. A new territory of the abyss. Staying gave him a headache, but at least the situation hadn't fallen apart completely. The Star Chasers, every one of them, insane. Time to move. The border trusted me with their families. I owe them this. Yibei thought it over and called for a few monitoring team members. Activate the formation. Cut the interference from the sky. Bring the SS rank item. The inner city's formation, pure defense, wasn't as strong as the outer cities, which was built specifically against abyss invasions. But it had more utility. Under the teleport interference above, teleport spells and items didn't work, and space was destabilized. But if the aurora above could do that, the inner city could counter. Simple. Put out their own interference so the other side couldn't teleport in more, then take time to clean up the abyss creatures already inside. By Yibei's read, the teleported abyss creatures were roughly level 40 in ability. Anyone under that level was in serious danger. Many of the people preparing for the Beijing University eval hadn't crossed the level 40 threshold. Most were around level 20 or below. Yibei finally felt the pressure the border had been under. He had to seal the rifts fast, then clear the scattered abyss creatures as quickly as possible. Every minute they existed meant more people died. The 2 team members left immediately after Yibei's orders. Minutes later, the setup was ready. Preparation had saved a lot of time. Blue beams shot up from every corner of the city, standing like walls. The beams began converging, forming into a blue spherical barrier. From the ground, colored shells launched skyward. Boom, boom. The shells burst in the sky, forming colorful patterns. As shells fired one after another, the sky filled with color. Once the colors appeared, the blue aurora flickered as a whole, unstable, and the white dots started winking out one by one. Good. It's working. Yibei nodded quietly. With the white dots gone, no more abyss creatures could be teleported in. That took a huge weight off the city. Then, prep complete, Yibei directed the guards to launch the inner city's counterattack. He split the whole monitoring team into small groups. 3 per team, watching each other's backs, rescuing civilians. He himself led another squad to clear the abyss creatures inside the city. These abyss creatures took work to kill, way tougher than the average class holder. Yibei didn't plan to exterminate them. He just needed them out of the inner city. Making them disappear was a lot simpler. Just as they'd arrived, teleport them away. His cleanup squad had only 2 people, him and someone holding a camera. Every time they encountered an abyss creature, the other member raised the camera, aimed, and pressed the shutter. Every creature caught on film was marked. A massive black hole appeared and sucked them in. SS rank item. Banishment camera. A specialized item for dealing with abyss creatures. Yibei's ace in the hole. Useless against high-level abyss creatures, but very effective against ones around level 40. Especially good against groups. Once photographed, an abyss creature vanished from where it stood. More precisely, vanished, just like the item's name. Once photographed, the camera printed a photo of the creature. The colors on the photos were slowly fading. When the colors were gone completely, the banishment would end and the creatures would come out. If they couldn't handle them in that window, all the abyss creatures would come pouring back at once. The item wasn't much use against a frontal abyss invasion, but in a place like the city, for quickly removing creatures that had already appeared, it was ideal. Cut losses dramatically. SS rank items were extremely rare. Every roll of film was strategic level material. Once used, gone. Yibei wouldn't have pulled this out if it hadn't been an emergency. With the banishment camera in play, the pressure on the inner city dropped hard. Most of the abyss creatures were under level 50, within the camera's banishment range. The abyss creatures were being cleared out. Feeling the black tide recede in the city, the people fighting to hold their ground finally let out a breath. We're alive. So these are abyss creatures. Terrifying. I'm a bounty hunter. I used to think the outer city was dangerous. Standing in front of these things, now I know what real danger looks like. You can't even hurt these things. And there are so many of them. Thank God for the monitoring team. If they hadn't been here, we'd all be dead. Voices spread through the city. With the banishment camera out, everyone being chased by abyss creatures got saved. Huh? What's happening to the Aurora? It looks like it's splitting in two. No, the whole space is being torn open. People looked up and saw the change. The blue light split in two, spreading in opposite directions. The pitch-black sky was being pulled open by a massive rip. From within the rip, a massive black hand slowly emerged. Another shift. The sudden black hand gripped one side of the rift and yanked hard. The blue aurora burst into brilliance. The aurora spread. The night sky tore open a massive gash. Inside, a terrifying presence was slowly descending. Inner city. Watching through the protective formation, Yi Bei's expression turned grim. The thing he'd feared most had happened. The abyss creatures from the white lights had only been a first probe. After that first wave, the abyss was launching a second attack. The presence descending from the sky. Even through the protective formation, Yi Bei could feel the terrifying pulse of it deep in his bones. No, I can't let it descend that easily. He stomped, launched himself into the air, and shot toward the rift in the sky. Yi Bei was a warrior who commanded spatial abilities. After a moment's assessment, he'd reached a conclusion. Only he could deal with the rift up there. Staying inside the formation was safe short-term. But once whatever was in the rift fully emerged, it'd be catastrophic. He chose to strike first. The aurora was the source of this disaster. And Yi Bei, the strongest in the city, was heading straight for the most dangerous point. Everyone in the city saw it. I couldn't even handle the small ones on the ground. That thing in the sky is obviously worse. Can Yi Bei pull it off? He has to. He's the strongest in our city, and his spatial power is rare. Captain Ye's up there. At this point, we just have to trust him. Captain Yi, you have to make it. People silently cheered him on. At their darkest moment, Yi Bei had led the way with that miraculous camera and saved them. In their hearts, they believed this powerful captain would carry them through this crisis too. Above the sky, the protective shield didn't stop Yi Bei. He carried a special token that let him pass through freely. He turned his back on the inner city and faced the aurora alone. At this distance, at this altitude, he was alone. The moment he cleared the formation, Yi Bei felt the pressure from the rift. Far heavier than what he'd sensed inside. That unknown abyss creature had shown only one hand before. In this short window, another had emerged. Yi Bei flicked his hand. A long sword appeared. He was a warrior. This was his weapon. He swung hard, the blade wrapped in silver-white light, and cut toward the rift. There was still distance, but Yi Bei couldn't afford to wait. Nobody knew what a delay might bring. So he moved without hesitation. Slice. Silver-white light shot into the void, landed in the rift. Didn't stir a ripple. Yi Bei didn't pause. He swung a second strike. This one aimed at the massive hand, trying to pry the rift wider. The white light connected. One finger was cleaved off and vanished. Yi Bei's brow furrowed. Those two strikes weren't casual. Each was full power. His weapon was named Silver Serpent. The light it cut was called Flash. Silver Serpent's flash, and it only took a finger? As a level 60 spatial warrior, his attribute was extremely rare. Combined with Silver Serpent, even against a level 70, he could hold his own. If he couldn't win outright, he could use his strange spatial abilities to run circles around them, especially against abyss creatures, which weren't usually that high in level. But that strike had barely made a dent. Yi Bei had to pause. 2 attacks were enough to tell him. What he was facing was far more complicated than he'd assumed. A cut like that, even a level 80 tyrant tier would take real damage. At the very least, the whole hand should have been left behind. But this thing only lost a finger. And under Yi Bei's grim watch, that severed finger was regrowing at a visible speed. That reminded him of what Lu Chengyin had said on the phone. Lu had met a level 100 Demon Lord tier abyss creature at the border, and that was why the border had fallen. The border was built to handle level 80 tyrant tier at most. Failing against a Demon Lord tier was understandable. Not Lu's fault. But now that Yi Bei was facing the same kind of pressure himself, his face was as ugly as it got. This unknown hand in front of him was probably the same as what Lu had faced at the border. Its level was absolutely not low. Another Demon Lord tier? Yi Bei closed on the rift, but didn't attack again. The finger had regrown in a blink, meaning his full power strike had only scratched the surface. Yi Bei paused. He was gathering strength. He had one last swing left. The hand moved. Both hands stopped prying the rift and swung down at Yibei. Yibei moved too. He released his final strike, his strongest. Where the white light passed, cracking sounds echoed, and the surrounding space grew unstable. The sword light flashed by. The black hand descended. The white light met the hand and vanished, like it had hit a black hole. All the light was pulled in. The hand came down and grabbed at Yibei. Crack. Cracking sounds erupted around him. His protective item shattering. At the last second, the item threw him out. Once thrown, he couldn't hold the spatial energy around him. His body arced backward like a projectile, hurled down, falling toward the ground. Blood trickled from the corner of Yibei's mouth. So this is Demon Lord Tyr. I gave it my all, and I still couldn't win. The fight in the sky was seen by everyone on the ground. Watching Yibei lose, faces filled with horror. In that horror, deep despair. Captain Yi lost. That Demon Lord Tyr is too strong. If even Captain Yi lost, what are we supposed to do? Are we just waiting to die? The city fell into dead silence. The abyss creatures inside had all been cleaned up by the banishment camera. But that was temporary. The bigger trouble above was still there. A full arm was already visible. If that trouble upstairs wasn't handled, when the timer ran out, every creature banished into the camera would come back. At the villa, Hu Xian was watching the sky too. When Yibei lost, she seemed to see their deaths coming. What was happening now was just the calm before the end. Almost like fate was giving them one last window to say goodbye. Hu Xian looked out the window, toward the monitoring team. Will we see each other again? Yibei fell through the sky into the protective formation, where a guard team member caught him. He was alive, but the danger wasn't over. The rift in the sky was still widening, arms reaching out. Anyone could see. Every second was buying disaster. Just a pair of hands, and with one swat they'd knocked out Xiao City's strongest fighter. What would the whole body look like? That would be the death of everyone in Xiao City. Then, something shifted in the sky. Once the massive hand pried the rift wide open, 3 abyss creatures poured out. Fewer than what had come through the white lights, but the aura on them felt more dangerous. The 3 abyss creatures that emerged from the black rift locked onto the protective formation and rammed it head-on. The formation was decent. It rocked, but held. But nobody could relax. And Hongdo had found her teammates the moment the disaster began. Multiple people together amplified their overall strength. They fought and retreated, holding out until the city guard team arrived and made it out. But it hadn't been long before she saw it. Yibei, the captain who'd wiped out the black tide effortlessly, had lost to the black hand. Lost without suspense. Didn't even stir a ripple. The gap was too wide. And Hongdo didn't know Yibei's level, but she knew clearly. He was far stronger than her. The abyss creatures they couldn't handle, Yibei had wiped out in seconds. Groups at a time. And someone that strong had just lost. Her teammates were just as anxious. Yibei lost. What's in that rift? We don't have much time. Are we going to make it? Listening to her teammates, and Hongdo sighed quietly. With Yibei down, no one was left to stop the abyss creature from descending. More of the abyss creature's body kept pushing through the rift. 2 long arms were fully out, and they aimed for the formation in the sky. Inner city. Residential district. Zhao Cheng was still some distance from the center. He'd taken his sister and fled toward the edge, avoiding most of the trouble. They saw the black hand above, swinging at the formation. Brother, can the formation hold? His sister still had that fear in her eyes from remembering the black creatures earlier. Zhao Cheng didn't hesitate. Even Yibei couldn't stop it. The formation can only buy us time. It won't hold forever. Do we still have a chance? Her question left him silent. A chance? If somewhere in that time, reinforcements arrived, maybe. But was that possible? They were far from the border. And even if someone dared come, they'd need power far beyond Yibei's. Yibei's rare spatial ability wasn't something the average person could match. Even he'd failed. The odds of anyone winning were vanishingly small. At that thought, he clenched his fist. I don't know. Zhao Cheng burned with frustration inside. Questions kept surfacing. His sister's illness had only just been cured. He hadn't even taken her outside the city to see the world. She hadn't had a chance to catch up with old friends. Was fate really this unfair to them? The pulse in the sky, that's at least a tyrant tier abyss creature. Even Yibei can't handle it. Once that thing fully descends, the formation won't last long. Young Master Lu, should we leave? The old man was talking. Lu Jie shook his head. No, it's not going to wait for that thing to fully descend. The formation won't hold that long. The moment he finished, the formation above shuddered. The old man heard it too. He looked up and saw the black hand hurl a white sphere, striking the formation. The shake had come from that impact. The 4 pillars supporting the formation were dimming. The blue light in the sky was fading. The abyss creature had ranged attacks. It didn't even need to fully descend to attack. That's bad. Young Master Lu, we should leave. If we don't, we won't be able to. Lu Jia. That's an abyss creature with teleport specialty. The spatial pulses around us are being heavily jammed. What are your odds of getting out? Lu Jia didn't move. He laid out what he was thinking. The old man had a cross-city teleport item. Activate it, and they'd be gone. But right now, the inner city's spatial pulses were being violently jammed by that abyss creature. They tried a few short-range teleports, and all failed. Just like Lu Jia said, in unstable space, you couldn't teleport at will. Young Master Lu, no matter what, we have to try. You can't die here. Damn it. If this hadn't come out of nowhere and messed up the space, we wouldn't be in this. The old man could have called in serious reinforcements. But right now, the rescue signals were jammed. Couldn't get out. And the distance was too far. Even if support wanted to come, it needed time. Here it comes. Lu Jia's voice was low. Boom. Right as he spoke, the black hand hurled another white sphere. Crack. The last defensive formation of the inner city shattered. The three abyss creatures held back by the formation were unleashed like wild horses, lunging downward. With the formation broken, the inner city fell back into chaos. But this time, no one was left to save them. Yi Bei had survived, but after that head-on with the abyss creature, he was fully unconscious. Watching all of it, the people in the inner city fell into despair. The formation's broken. Captain Yi is out. What do we do? Wait. The guard team members can use the camera to banish these creatures too. They pinned their hopes on the camera. But the monitoring team member holding the camera slowly shook his head. It won't work. The camera can't handle these. Their energy pulses are past level 50. I feel that same heavy pressure the captain had. They're at least level 60. We'll find a way to trap the three of them. We can't beat them head on, but with a group, we can buy time. Someone asked, what about the black hand? Silence. Even the captain had lost. What could they do? Trapping the three abyss creatures was already their limit. While everyone was stuck. At the edge of the horizon, a fire-red streak appeared. A dragon wrapped in flames was flying toward Xiao City. I stood on the dragon's back, sweat on my brow. Spatial teleport was jammed. Had to take the long way. Good thing I made it in time. The one riding the dragon was me. When I was at the border, I'd used the return scroll Yi Bei had given me, expecting a direct teleport back. But some special energy had jammed it. I got sent somewhere else. Cost me time figuring out where I was, then more time getting back. That delay was why I arrived at the inner city later than planned. Seeing the inner city still standing, not fully invaded, I let out a breath. Captain Yi Bei was capable, but the trouble wasn't fully over. I saw the rift in the sky too, and the massive hand trying to come through. I'd also found the culprit that had jammed my teleport. That detour meant I'd had to summon another fire dragon. For me, that was cold hard money out the door. On the way, I'd been wondering what had messed with my teleport. Now that I saw who was behind it, anger rose in my face. Time to settle this bill. Spatial rifts, huh? You versus the final meteor. Which of us is stronger? Maybe we still have hope. Lu Jie saw the figure in the sky, and a smile touched his face. The old man beside him didn't get it. You believe in him that much? The pulses from the fire dragon read level 40. Even if I'm off, they can't be over level 50. The old man was confused. The pulses weren't strong. Those three abyss creatures that had just come through were all past level 60. Even with Chun Fan added, a level 40 fighter, even if his fire dragon had special abilities, it'd only ease the pressure. Wouldn't change the outcome. He still couldn't handle the abyss creature in the sky. Why was young Master Lu so confident? Lu Jia. I can't quite explain it. Unbelievable things happen around Chun Fan. Maybe he brings us another miracle. Brother, look. His sister pointed at the red streak in the sky. Zhao Qing saw it too. Chun Fan. It really is him. We're saved. Zhao Cheng didn't overthink it. When his life had hit rock bottom, when he couldn't farm the material he needed and was about to lose his sister, it was Chun Fan's appearance that had saved him. And now, at another rock bottom, Chun Fan was here again, like an angel. For some reason, a feeling rose in his chest. With Chun Fan here, maybe everyone would live. Chun Fan, I still haven't seen you go all out. Every time we've teamed up, the monsters couldn't take a single move from you. When you're really trying, how terrifying is that? And Hongdo watched the figure closing in on the inner city, murmuring in her heart. At the villa, Hu Xian stared into the distance. You weren't in the city? She'd thought their next meeting would be a nice, easy dinner. Reality was something else. She was inside. Chun Fan was outside. After the monitoring team took him away, he should have stayed with them. But he was coming back from outside the city. What had pulled you away? Must have been urgent. So urgent you didn't even have time to say goodbye. A soft smile crossed her face. She'd seen the person she most wanted to see. No regrets now. What a way to keep our date. The protective formation was broken. The abyss creatures landing in the city were split apart by arriving guard team members. With S-rank items, several people to a group, they barely trapped them. The city fell into a temporary calm. But everyone knew. The real trouble was the black hand upstairs, gathering for a third attack. The moment it struck, this calm would flip in an instant. My arrival was seen by the city too. Reinforcements? Really? We're saved. Seeing someone arriving, of course they thought rescue. Faces lit up. They were overjoyed. The sudden red light. The person riding the dragon, their savior. But the sharp-eyed in the crowd noticed something off fast. That person looks familiar. Now that you mention it, isn't that Chen Fan? You mean the Chen Fan from this morning's arena match? Him. That's who's coming? Plenty recognized him quickly. The Chen Fan from the arena that morning. The story had spread everywhere. Many had gone to watch in person. Even those who hadn't had heard the story of an S-rank mage losing to a C-rank one. So the moment Chen Fan was mentioned, almost everyone knew who was outside. As the dragon closed in, they were more sure. That familiar dragon, wasn't that the fire dragon? That familiar face, wasn't that Chen Fan? Chen Fan, isn't he just a level 21 mage? So he's here. What good does that do? Yeah, he's not from a rescue team. False alarm. Should we get the city to open the gates so we can flee? Are you insane? Do you know how dangerous it is out there? Forget past the border. Can you even survive in the wilderness? Better than dying here. If we get out of the inner city and move fast enough, maybe we can make it to the border. Maybe we live. The border news hadn't spread yet. The guard team hadn't shared. The people in the city didn't know the border had just come through its own battle and was still recovering. From what they could see, the city's defenses had failed. In a minute at most, those abyss creatures would break out. They just wanted to escape. Large numbers surged toward the city gates. That was when everyone noticed something unusual. The whole sky turned deep red. In that sky, 10 rifts appeared. Every one of them leaked red light, blanketing the airspace above the inner city, staining the sky. The ones who'd rushed to the gates panicked harder. What is that? One big rift was already too much. Now 10 more. Who can handle that? A figure pushed through the crowd, shoving people aside. I don't care. I'm getting out. Move. Nobody stops me. The sky. Earlier I'd cast the skill from extreme range and hadn't felt the pressure of a high-level abyss creature up close. This time I felt it. The Black Hand's body wasn't fully out yet, but the whole space was already saturated with overwhelming pressure. A potion appeared in my hand. I didn't hesitate. Drank it in one go. Back to peak condition. When I came, I'd promised the border soldiers, and I'd promised Captain Liu, that I'd protect the inner city. Final. One word from my mouth. The rift in the sky kept widening. The pulse from inside was no less terrifying than the abyss creature itself. Plenty of people saw the rift and remembered the earlier white lights. They assumed the Black Hand was behind this new rift, and the urge to flee grew stronger. I'm getting out. Don't stop me. In the crowd, Lu Shirshir shoved others aside, pushing hard for the gates. Chen Fan's coming in from outside. You're pushing to get out. This isn't a dungeon. We're not your teammates. Nobody's obligated to look after you. Many people wanted out, and it was already too crowded. A shove sent Lu Shirshir right back. Her face was tight with panic. Once she'd seen the change in the sky, she'd made up her mind to flee. She couldn't stay any longer. Outside was dangerous. But that thing was about to come through. Staying in the city was just another way to die. She'd seen me arrive. But she didn't think I could beat the Black Hand. Yibei couldn't stop it. What could Chen Fan possibly do? However strong Chen Fan was, he couldn't be stronger than Yibei. Lu Shirshir just hoped I could stall long enough to buy her time to escape. The gates were held by monitoring team members. Their orders were to keep people in, but too many were rushing them. With just their numbers, they couldn't hold. The monitoring team's main force was busy handling the scattered abyss creatures in the city. Without them holding those in check, the 3 that had teleported in would have been on a rampage. Nothing to do but let people out. Whoosh. The gates opened. A crowd surged out like they'd lost their minds. Outside was their last straw. Plenty of people who'd never left the city followed the crowd out. But not everyone. Some looked at the rift in the sky and saw something they knew. That rift. We've seen it in a dungeon. Unlike the ones running, a significant number stopped. They'd figured it out. They recognized it. From the class advancement dungeon. Back then, the rift had circled around a sea of fire and had put massive pressure on them. That morning, they hadn't connected the rifts to Chen Fan. Assumed the rifts had little to do with him. Most of them had died early and never seen what the rifts fully looked like. But seeing the rifts again, their DNA remembered. They didn't run. They looked up at the person in the sky. The one who'd played them for fools in the dungeon. That's right. Those are the rifts from the dungeon. 10 of them. I'm not mistaken. Look at Chen Fan. These rifts have to be his. The dragon, the person, and those familiar spatial rifts. That's the set. That's the full set. In the crowd, Jian Hongta saw it too. His mouth opened slightly. He hadn't expected this. Suing Fa beside him was even more shocked. That's the spatial rift. Bro, you remember? That's what took us. Jian Hong too. I remember. I left you an item back then. It got crushed straight through. Right? Bro, you weren't there. When the meteors came, the scene was unreal. The two glanced at each other. They didn't run. Compared to everyone else, they knew too clearly. The inner city was survival. Even if they left, when the abyss creatures poured in mass, no one would live. If they all pulled together and tried something, maybe they'd have a chance. Jian Hong too. He was holding back this morning. Didn't see him pull this out. Bro, do you think these meteors can stop the abyss? Jian Hongtu's eyes held a firm belief. Who's to say? Back in the dungeon, we never guessed all of that was one person's doing. And Qin Fan didn't just surprise us all. He blew us away. So who's to say Qin Fan won't blow everyone away this time too? The night sky, colored by the blue aurora, was already vivid. Add in the new rifts, and the sky looked like the opening ceremony of some grand banquet. Meteor. My preparation was complete. 10 spatial rifts snapped fully open, like 10 massive suns. Colored mist billowed from all around. The abyss's black hand condensed another white sphere. The sphere it hurled hit the mist and stopped short, like it had sunk into mud, stalled inside the mist's range. The explosion and impact everyone was bracing for never came. The sphere hit the mist, lost all momentum, and just hung there. Blocked. Qin Fan, he actually blocked it? An attack even Yi Bei couldn't block. Qin Fan blocked it? The city's morale, which had been falling, picked up a little. Seeing the attack blocked, the guard team members felt their nerves ease. The protective formation was gone. If that sphere had landed and exploded inside the city, the damage would have been massive. This attack had been blocked by Qin Fan. Tom was passing. The space's grip on the black hand was weakening fast. After that attack, the black hand had pushed half its body through the rift. Its shoulder slammed into one edge of the rift. The whole space cracked open into a huge hole. The passage was fully forged. From the pitch-black void, a massive figure strolled out. A tyrant-tier abyss creature at minimum. An abyss creature of this level, descending inside the city, would deal catastrophic damage. Plenty of people had already fled outside. Those still running cursed as they went. It's out. It's Qin Fan's fault. He made the abyss creature angry. Look, it came out way faster than before. If he hadn't provoked it into rushing out, we'd be gone already. Why did you have to make that cloud? It was almost my turn. Whoosh. The people who'd been running toward the outer city stopped in their tracks. Their bodies locked in place. 1 foot mid-step, unable to complete the motion. Eerie, like they'd been chained, forced to just stare while their bodies wouldn't respond. What's happening? Why can't I move? The black hand. That abyss creature did this. Right after the abyss creature emerged, they'd found they couldn't move. Only their mouths worked. Since they'd been running forward, they couldn't even turn back to see what was happening behind them. Inside the city, when the abyss creature appeared above, a silver-white light swept across. The people inside the city were lucky. Under the mist, they just felt their bodies grow heavy, their movements slow, but not completely locked. The ones who'd escaped outside had left the mist's range. They stood like wooden statues, all resistance gone in an instant. At that point, they wouldn't even need an abyss creature. Any half-decent wild beast could tear them apart. Those clouds. They kept us safe from the abyss. Good thing we didn't run out. If we couldn't move, we'd be waiting to die. The abyss is terrifying. In the textbooks, I thought they were exaggerating. Turns out they were being conservative. Exaggeration? This is world-ending. Just as everyone had expected. When the owner of the Black Hand came out of the rift, the abyss passage and the inner city's airspace were fully connected. The Black Hand didn't even need to attack. Just standing there reversed the whole situation, dropped everyone into a corner. Under everyone's eyes, I stood alone on the fire dragon's back, facing the Black Hand. So this is what the real abyss looks like. Feeling the pressure closing in from all directions, one glance was enough. The Black Hand was absolutely the same tier as what was at the border. Maybe even trickier. That ability to lock down everyone across a wide area. That had to be this Demon Lord tier specialty. My body was moving 20 times slower now, barely responsive. Good thing I'd already finished casting. From here on, everything just had to go to plan. The mist formed. Meteors began appearing in the sky one after another. Under my control, the meteors didn't strike the ground. They aimed at the black hole that had just opened. Meteors crossed the blue aurora and struck the rift in the center. The blue light dimmed noticeably. Once the meteors entered the rift, They went silent. But the fading aurora said the attack was working. The formation was fully deployed. The temperature in the sky started climbing. Roar. Groar. The abyss creatures trying to come out with the black hand burst into flames a few steps in. They shrieked and scrambled back. Why did they all catch fire? You even have to ask? 10 massive suns hanging up there. Get too close, of course you burn. The city's confidence ticked up. They hadn't expected it. What Yi Bei couldn't do, Chen Fan had done. Just that morning, Chen Fan had been in the arena fighting Chen Xianan, both level 21. And now, that same night, he was standing in front of everyone, facing an abyss invasion alone. And holding, the black hand had opened the rift to bring its whole horde. Its kind hadn't even lasted 3 seconds outside the rift before scrambling back. The black hand's eyes locked on the clouds in the sky. Purple flames rose across its body. It had zeroed in on the mist. Take that out, and the level 40 down below could be swatted with a breath. The hand moved. It placed both hands at its sides, swung backward. Space rippled, and its speed exploded. It shot straight for the mist. Everyone tensed. It's going for the formation. Stop it. Don't let it destroy the formation. Every heart was in every throat. They'd figured it out. The mist was the core of the meteors. And that core, together with the 10 suns, was what had stopped the black hand and blocked the abyss horde from descending. If the hand destroyed the core, would the 10 suns disappear? Would the meteors disappear? They were tense. The 10 suns had blocked every attack. If they were destroyed, what waited was slaughter by countless abyss creatures. Right now, no one could fight head-on. Once the abyss creatures poured in, without the mist's protection, they'd be as helpless as the people outside the city. Listening to the shouting around me, compared to everyone else's panic, I was unnaturally calm. I didn't move. Not until half the black hand's body had entered the mist did a smile finally touch my face. Finally, took the bait. Before I got here, I already knew how the previous demon Lord Tyr had died. Died inside that mist. All my setup and hints had been aimed at getting the black hand to attack the mist itself. The formation could have deployed faster, but I deliberately timed it. Then blocked the ranged attack at just the right moment, so the hand knew ranged was useless. Then used the formation's burn damage to drive off the other abyss creatures, so the hand knew that to bring its kind through, it had to destroy the clouds first. And to destroy the clouds, ranged didn't work. It'd be blocked. Had to go up close. And without its kind at its side, the hand had to go itself. Layer after layer. The black hand finally took the bait. Went for the mist. The moment it entered the mist wrapped around it. Its 2 hands started swinging hard. Barely lasted a second before the swings turned to trembling, then failed completely. Like a puppet, it was wrapped up by the cloud and delivered into the rift. The whole thing was silent. Under 10 seconds, start to finish. The black hand disappeared from the sky. One of the suns above disappeared with it. The people on the ground stared at the abyss creature vanishing into the sun, disbelieving their eyes. What just happened? Where'd the black hand go? Just like that? The sky was quiet. I stood alone on the fire dragon's back. After the black hand vanished, the black hole space it left behind, any abyss creature that came out burst into flame. Gradually, none dared come out. The meteors hadn't stopped. They kept crashing into the black hole. The remaining blue aurora showed signs of instability, fading slowly. The passage the black hand had opened, without energy to sustain it, shrank steadily. Things were turning around. Seeing it finally handled, I let out a breath. Truthfully, facing a demon Lord Tyr head-on had been rough on me too. I was just a regular mage. Nothing changed the fact that my body was fragile. If the black hand hadn't fixated on the clouds, if it hadn't been so bent on bringing its kind through and had just charged the inner city alone, I'd have had nothing. Final Meteor was strong, but at the demon Lord Tyr, its impact was limited. My biggest kill move was what I'd validated at the border. The 10 massive suns in the rifts. I'll admit, there was gambling involved. Luck was on my side. Won the bet. Everything ran to plan. I kept my promise. We survived. People looked at each other, still not caught up. The black hand had knocked Yi Bei out with a single swat, and now it was just gone? Nobody could believe it. Then, their bodies came unfrozen. I can move. Me too. For real. The black hand got dragged into the rift. We made it. Even the people outside who'd been locked in place regained motion. Only then did it sink in. The black hand was gone. They'd really lived through this death sentence. The people outside, once they could move again, some still didn't feel safe and kept running into the wilderness. Others turned back. But whoever they were, the way they looked at me had shifted completely. He actually did it. This is a miracle. Brother, Chen Fan saved us again. Yeah, he did. Zhao Cheng pulled his sister into a hug, hands trembling. Chen Fan had saved his family again. Young Master Lu, you were right. It was me. My eyes were too dull. Watching the crisis fully pass, the old man beside Lu Jia lowered his head, ashamed. Good thing Chen Fan was there. Otherwise, even they wouldn't have made it out today. Lu Jia, knowing Chen Fan is our honor. Captain, how did you meet him out there? Yeah, he's too strong. Feels like he's not in the same league as us. He's still on our team. If we round up, doesn't that mean our squad defeated the Black Hand? You really get rounding, huh? Why not round up all the way and say you defeated it? I'm just messing around, basking in a little reflected glory. The Linglong Dice squad members finally relaxed and started joking around. And Hongdo listened to her teammates, her gaze on the figure in the sky. A smile bloomed on her face. Between the Aurora and Final Meteor came out ahead. Yibei woke up. Just now. He held his forehead with one hand and pushed up from the ground. The moment he looked up, he saw something that shocked him. The Black Hand was heading into the rift. Its massive frame fully swallowed. Who did this? He'd woken up late. Missed the process. Only saw the result. When he'd watched the Black Hand jam the teleports and get swatted flat, his heart had already gone cold. He'd thought he'd never wake up again. He never expected that when he opened his eyes, the Black Hand, the mountain he couldn't climb, would just be gone. He tracked the sight down. Saw a familiar face. Chen Fan. He came? Right. In this short a time, no way it was the capital's rescue team. The only one who could pull this off was Chen Fan. Teleport didn't work, and he'd still made it back. At the border, he'd already killed one Demon Lord tier abyss creature. Now he'd killed another. Thinking about it that way made sense. Something fell off in Yibei's mind. He remembered clearly. Chen Fan had only joined the monitoring team this morning. When the border got in trouble, he'd sent Chen Fan out just for recon. It was Chen Fan's idea in the first place, and with the fire dragon he had mobility, so Yibei had let a team of them go. Result? They went to scout, and casually took out an ancient thunder dragon on the way. If someone had told Yibei that in a single day, one person could take down 2 Demon Lord tier abyss creatures, Yibei wouldn't have believed it. Would have called them out for lacking basic common sense. But today, his common sense had been thoroughly overhauled. Yibei looked up at the sky. The rift was closing. The Aurora was gone. The big hole the Black Hand had opened, without the Aurora sustaining it, faded shortly after. The airspace over the inner city was fully restored. Yibei called for people to restore order in the city. The dungeon realms were stable. Dungeons were accessible again. He tossed the abyss creatures still held in the banishment photos into the dungeon turbulence. That had been his plan from the start. Handle the danger first, then deal with the banished creatures. The cleanest method was throwing them into dungeon space. Of course, if the dungeons hadn't come back in time, Yibei had other options. He was a spatial ability user. At some cost, he could pry open the spatial turbulence himself and throw all the photos in. Either way, with the Black Hand's threat gone, everything else was just a matter of time. Outside the monitoring team building, Yibei worked on restoring order. The big problem was handled, but plenty of small ones remained. A lot of the city's infrastructure had been damaged by the Black Tide. He didn't have to do the repairs himself, but he needed to send people through the affected areas to check for hidden dangers. Once all that was arranged, Yibei learned in passing what had happened in the city during his unconsciousness. Basically what he'd figured. After the Black Hand descended, the inner city's protective formation, which wasn't built for that kind of defense, had lasted 2 strikes before shattering. At the critical moment, Chen Fan's arrival had turned everything around. Just as Yibei was thinking of going to find Chen Fan and talk about what had happened at the border, a signal came through on his emergency communicator. This emergency line could only be reached through special channels. He noticed the caller wasn't Lu Qing'an. It was an unfamiliar number. He answered, "You're the person in charge of Qiao City, Yibei, correct? We're the capital's rescue team. Your beacon suddenly lost signal. What happened out there? Give us a rundown of the situation." A few short lines. They made their purpose clear. Yibei caught up. The rescue team. They were here. The disturbance had been detected that morning. By afternoon, someone had come. By that timeline, they were actually pretty quick. But for people in the middle of danger, it was too long. Long enough that, if Chen Fan hadn't shown up this time, by the time this call came in, no one would have been left to answer. Yibei suddenly understood. That explained it. Cities that had been in contact days ago, everything normal, could suddenly go silent. Qiao City had come this close to becoming one of those cities. Pulling his thoughts back, Yibei gave a summary. When Yibei mentioned the signal loss was due to a Demon Lord tier attack at the outer city, the tone on the other end changed instantly. Demon Lord tier? Your city's outer defense formation was built for Tyrant tier, and not to defeat them either. Just to have someone power it, Install the tyrant tier long enough for support to arrive. You're telling me Demon Lord tier? Do you understand what Demon Lord tier means? Clearly, the other end didn't bite at first. Signal loss usually meant an attack. Weaker attacks meant swarms of level 60 abyss creatures. Stronger, tyrant tier at most. But Xiao City ran into a Demon Lord tier? That was way off script. eBay caught the skepticism. He clarified. The Star Chasers were involved. The Demon Lord tier was brought in by them. The rescue team member finally got it. Star Chasers. Yeah, that tracks. You had rough luck. Then he added, hold out a little longer. We're coming as fast as we can. At this distance, roughly an hour. I'll report the situation up. If it's Demon Lord tier, our rescue squad can only put up a fight. Once they knew what Xiao City was facing, they got cautious. At their squad strength, Tyrant tier they could handle easily. But Demon Lord tier, they didn't have the ability to shut down a Demon Lord tier abyss invasion. They needed to escalate. Still, they were dutiful. Even knowing they couldn't win, they chose to speed up. The capital was far. Without a cross-city teleport formation, this was as fast as they got. Listening to the urgency, Yi Bei was calm. The Demon Lord tier at the border is handled. One simple sentence carried a massive amount of information. The other end went silent. A few seconds passed before a voice came back. Say that again. Demon Lord tier handled? You killed it. Yi Bei thought about it. To be precise, not killed. Some special methods. The Demon Lord was banished. Special methods? Interesting. Didn't know Xiao City had that kind of depth. Wait, you said the one at the border. Meaning there was more than one. Yi Bei answered quickly. One at the border. One in the inner city. SSSS. Even through the phone, Yi Bei heard several sharp intakes of breath. That was rough news. Even for someone who'd lived through it, Yi Bei felt hollow. For a normal city, running into one Demon Lord tier was a disaster of a lifetime. Xiao City, too, in the same day. So, how are you all doing right now? The person on the other end was still processing. They'd been on the move. After hearing what Xiao City had gone through, they'd all stopped in unison. If the caller hadn't said one was already dealt with, they wouldn't have stopped. They'd have turned around and run. Are you kidding? A rescue squad barely holds against one Demon Lord tier. And now there's another? Two Demon Lords at the same time? Their squad would just be walking into their own graves. They hadn't turned back because of the call. Two Demon Lords. Normally, everyone would be dead. But this person was alive and didn't sound panicked. From what he'd said, he wasn't lying. As a city's person in charge, lying carried heavy consequences. He wouldn't. So what had actually happened in Xiao City? Yi Bei, be straight with us. You're not exaggerating, right? Yi Bei, exaggerating? I went up myself. Didn't survive a single move. What else could that be but Demon Lord tier? Then tell us. How did you handle it? Yi Bei didn't answer right away. He thought it through carefully. A mysterious expert stepped in and helped us. Don't guess. I don't have what it takes to handle a Demon Lord tier. The moment that aura came out, anyone below level 60 couldn't move. How would I fight? A mysterious expert. Yi Bei, yes. He handled the one at the border. He handled the one in the inner city too. One person handled both. In the same day, the other end lost it. If the phone he was using hadn't required high-level access, and if the caller hadn't been Xiao City's top authority, the rescue team would have assumed they'd misheard. This was beyond off the charts. Two Demon Lord tier in one city in a single day, already terrifying. And on top of that, a second twist. In one day, both Demon Lord tier had been dealt with. This expert you're talking about, mind if I ask his name? Yi Bei, I haven't asked him yet. If you're curious, come ask him yourself. But I can't promise how he'll answer or how he'll receive you. Someone at that level, I can't presume anything. Yi Bei still didn't give up Chen Fan's name. Through this battle, Yi Bei had seen the terrifying power Chen Fan carried. True, Chen Fan hadn't taken down the Demon Lord tier head-on. That attack must have had heavy restrictions and a real cost. But the result was what it was. Chen Fan, alone, had handled two Demon Lord tier and averted a city-ending crisis. Naturally, Yi Bei's respect for Chen Fan had grown. Without authorization, he wasn't going to reveal more. Not wanting the rescue team to worry, Yi Bei added, your call came late. Well, more accurately, comms only recovered after we handled both Demon Lord tier. I know what you're worried about. At Demon Lord tier, the aura they leave behind is unmistakable. Inner city or border, once you get here and see it, you'll know I wasn't lying. As for escalating up, not needed. We handled it. But you should still come. The protective formation. We can't repair it ourselves. Come see it for yourselves. Yi Bei told them. That Xiao City had survived an attack like that. They'd been lucky. We're coming. That mysterious expert. Hold him there for us. Whoever he is, he helped us. We want to thank him in person. They picked up the pace without meaning to. Yibei had said there was no rush, but knowing someone could take out 2 Demon Lord tier, the rescue team couldn't wait to meet him. If they arrived too late and missed him, they'd regret it for the rest of their lives. I'll try. They talked a bit more, then hung up. After the call, Yibei went back to what he'd been doing. Since waking up, he'd been keeping the city stable, tangled in a pile of tasks. No time to see Chin-fan. Now, everything was moving along. The rescue team was on its way, no loose ends. Time to go talk to Chin-fan. Chin-fan was the city's biggest name now. He hadn't hidden his movements. Not hard to find. Yibei quickly located him. Chin-fan wasn't at the center of the inner city. He was in a somewhat quiet villa area. Wouldn't have guessed Chin-fan was in the mood. Going to find him now. That's probably not a great idea. He's got a date. Better wait. Outer city. Lu Shishir hadn't gone back. She kept walking into the wilderness. She was a support. Going out was extremely dangerous. She did it anyway. What Chin-fan had done wasn't something you could farm in a dungeon. Having seen it, Lu Shishir wanted out too. To train herself. As an A-rank support, she believed a stint in the wild would pay off. Whatever Chin-fan could do, why couldn't she? There was another reason she was set on leaving. After the fuss that morning, people in the city already had a good impression of Chin-fan. Add today's events, and virtually no one held anything against him. Lu Shishir could guess. Anywhere she went in the city, all she'd hear was praise for Chin-fan. She didn't want to hear it. Every time she did, emotions flooded in that she couldn't control. Regret, envy, bitterness. To feel a little better, she'd left. She'd planned this out too. In her mind, the ideal partner was Chun Xianan. Unfortunately, after the arena incident, he'd stopped contacting her. And her old teammates, she looked down on. So she came out alone. The farther she walked, the smaller the inner city got behind her. Shrunk to a tiny dot in her eyes. Just wait, Chin-fan. Next time we meet, you'll see a different me. I sat at the dinner table. Every kind of good food and drink was laid out. Across from me was Hu Xian. After handling the crisis in the city, I'd kept the plan. The restaurants and taverns had all closed, so the two of us were having dinner at the villa. Hu Xian's family had no objection. I'd just driven back the Black Hand in front of the whole city. Wherever I went, all eyes would follow. Me coming to the Hu residence, the upside far outweighed the downside. One visit alone would lift the Hu family's status in the city. Soft music at the table. After a long day, I was enjoying a rare stretch of quiet. Between Hu Xian's questions, we talked about the day over dinner. What I'd been through in one day, most people wouldn't run into in a week. The morning date, the match against Chun Xianan. After the fight, the pulses were too strong, and Yibei took me in. Learned about the border from Yibei, and set out immediately. No time to say goodbye to friends. Once the border was handled, the inner city hit the same trouble. Only I had the ability to handle it, so I teleported back. Teleport failed. Had to fight my way through to get here. Finally, in the standoff with the Demon Lord Tier, took the win and ended the day's chaos. Hu Xian listened quietly. From the bits and pieces, she caught that racing against time pressure. Good times passed fast. After dinner, I didn't stay the night. Said goodbye to Hu Xian and headed home. Walking, I was tired down to the bones. All I needed was rest, to let the taut string ease. In the crowd, people who'd been chatting quietly went silent when they saw me pass. Like I was the ruler of this place. If I wasn't talking, no one dared talk. I didn't pay it much mind. Kept walking. Then, something caught my attention. I turned and glanced at a direction behind me. A couple was standing there. The moment they felt my gaze, they froze. Not daring to move, bodies trembling slightly. I frowned, looked a couple beats longer, then turned away. Muttered, "Guess I was imagining it." I saw no threat, and kept walking. Once I was gone, the couple I'd looked at finally exhaled, feeling like they'd come back to life. They glanced at each other. Both had the same terror in their eyes. The invisible pressure had been too intense. So, that's what a big shot's presence feels like. He just looked at me. He didn't do anything. But I felt like I lost control of my body. Like all my strength was gone. Terrifying. That's what it takes to kill a Demon Lord Tier. What they didn't know? Not far behind them, a shadow was pressed to a wall. Not daring to move. Tucked into the darkness. The black outfit was soaked through with sweat. Only several minutes after Chen-fan disappeared did the shadow finally move. The shadow let out a long breath. Pulled out a picture and a bounty notice. The picture was Chen-fan. Someone had put down a high price on a C-rank talent. Shadow 6 hadn't thought twice about it. He had S-rank talent. Plenty of room to burn. Today's encounter had left him stunned. Chen-fan. Assassinate him? Are you kidding? Assassinate someone who just defeated a Demon Lord Tier? I have to be out of my mind. I actually took this job. No. Whoever put the job out is out of their mind. Who publishes a job like this? He'd only stared a little longer to confirm the target, and Chun Fan had already spotted him. He could still feel that scanning gaze. Terrifying. Good thing there was no killing intent in that look. Just a curious glance. Otherwise, I'd be sharing the fate of those demon lords. This job? Absolutely not touching it. Rather than assassinate someone like this, I should think about how to kill whoever posted the job.